We are all
Nice.
good. All right, how you doing? Are you good?
Yeah, no, I'm good. Got some
Good.
tea ready.
I was gonna say,
So,
oh, you rocking out Jack Skeleton?
mm,
I am too. Like
nice, we
no joke.
match.
Yeah, that's quite weird.
Oh,
You got? Oh yeah, I forgot you got the Steel Series headphones
yeah, these are real nice.
with
Also
the
very comfy.
extended mic as well. Are you using that mic?
Mm.
It's
Yeah,
it's really good.
I think so. Anyway, as long as Discord hasn't decided to change it over, because sometimes it changes it to my webcam and then it goes really shit.
You can tell when it's the webcam because it's like you're sort of really far away from it instead. So
Yeah.
it's just one of those things where you just gotta work it out and stuff. Oh damn, you know what's funny? Obviously you're in the shot right now, but what's not in
Mhm.
the shot is your cool collection. Uh, I'm I'm
Ah,
I'm
bring
sliding I'm
something.
sliding it over right now just so it's so cool. How you finding the game?
Oh, Borderlands 3 is great.
It's really
So
good.
good.
What
It,
you're
it's reminded me a lot of the second game, which is my favorite in the
sure.
series. So, because when I first played the second one, it just like sucked me in, and I had to do like all of the side missions, all of the challenges, all of everything.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm doing the same with this one. I've like 100%ed all of the areas as much as
Yeah.
I can. Oh my god, it's great. I love it.
I am in love with the gameplay. I'm in love with the guns and the environments and the gameplay. Not a big fan of the acting personally.
Who are you
There's
playing as?
I'm playing as Amara. She's not the best
Hmm.
anyway regarding the voice acting. I wanted to play as a Siren, but what was it? I know Zane's pretty damn good, but
Zane is great. Because that's why I was questioning it, because it might be who you're playing as.
true.
I've heard Flack is really good.
I've heard that too.
Kelly's been playing as Flack, and we played together the other day, and
Sure, sure.
his voice is really cool. Well, their
Mm.
voice even. Um,
Yeah, that's so cool that they actually are their
yeah,
pronouns are they, and it's like it's
yeah,
law that they are known as they, and it's like oh that's
yeah.
pretty damn cool actually.
Borderlands is really good with being like really inclusive.
That's
It's
true.
like they got a bunch of like gay and lesbian characters. They've got
Yeah,
trans characters. They've got like a whole multitude of ethnicities. Like it's really cool.
it is really nice
I
with.
like that about like
Well, I was watching Moist Critical's review of it, and like
mm,
he loves the game. He really loves like the gameplay of it all and all that. And it's the same kind of thing with me, where
yeah,
the voice acting is certain bits of writing where I'm like, bit weird, and like they'll say stuff. What is it? It's like they're making references from 2017 or 2006, like when it first got produced. It's like, oh, let's put this reference in.
yeah. That is the only thing. Although sometimes it's really funny. Like there's one gun which talks,
Yeah, yeah,
and if
yeah.
you throw it to get rid of it, it can say yeet. And that made me like crack up
Yeah, yeah,
laughing
yeah,
for
yeah.
fucking ages. Like, oh my god.
But
Like some of it is silly and some of it's a bit stupid, but I kind of like that because it doesn't really take itself seriously.
I don't
It's
think you
just
should.
goofy.
It's
Yeah, no.
it's embracing what it is, which is a really fun, stupid game. And I think if it can do that, then that's the main thing. Like when it's taken too seriously, it's like, oh, dude, come on, just relax.
Yeah.
Accept what you are. You're an amazingly fun game to play.
Mhm.
And but the only bits as well, like there's bits where you're like on these massive fights and going crazy, like everything's shooting and blowing up, and then when you go onto the onto Sanctuary, I believe it's called, and then you have to walk from one end of the ship to the other end of the ship to the other end of the ship and then back
Mm.
again, and you're like, wait, I want it to be fast again. Come on, I want my speed.
Although I like the break because if it's all constant speed, it's like god.
True, true.
Whereas then going back to Sanctuary, because something I really like, because I like ordering all of my shit when because you have your own room
Hmm.
and you can have your you can store some guns that you want in the bank, or you can have it up on the wall to like show them off.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like I've been comparing stuff, and then if I find a legendary gun that I can't really use or don't really want to use, I'm like, oh, I'll put that on the wall, or
Mm,
I'll store some stuff here. It's like a nice kind of break in between where I can sort out all of my stuff and like sell all these guns that I don't want
mm.
and upgrade my character. And plus, also, once you get more used to Sanctuary, You can find shortcuts to get to areas a bit quicker.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Instead of just running around. Plus, also something that I've loved doing is sliding around everywhere, because that wasn't in the previous games.
Yes.
If you slide downstairs, you
Way
go
faster.
super fast.
I had to work out how to do it, because I would slide and then I press slide out. Well, I press crouch, whatever it is, to get out of it, but I end up walking. So I realised
Yeah.
I have to switch between sprint and crouch to get the slide and straight into a sprint. So just working out the movements it's fun. It's really fun, and I'm so glad we're doing the climbing mechanics as well, because
Oh, the climbing mechanics is so good. I remember in the previous games where I'd be like, oh, I'd love to get to this high area and climb up here, and like couldn't do it.
It's
'cause
one of
there was-
it's one of my most hated traits about games, where there's an object which is knee height and we're like, oh, we can't get across there. We have to go all the way around.
Yeah.
I think
That's something
Go on.
sorry.
No, it's fine.
Apex does that really well,
Yes.
actually. Like,
Yeah.
I love climbing around and
Mhm.
sliding everywhere and
Mhm.
just being able to just like speed past things. Like, I love it in games where you can just, the environment feels interactable.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like open. It's not like a
Yeah.
a corridor, like you can only go this way and that's it. It's more of a it's an open world game in the end. And like just there's one bit where what's the big lady called again? Ellie? Is it Ellie?
Ellie, yeah.
So she mentioned that, this cargo's taken like this weapon is gone, and all the left-handed weapons, that's a joke.
Yeah.
But then she mentions like a grapple hook, and in my head I went, that would be so fucking cool if that was in the game.
So
That would be
good.
amazing, because it's like, that would make it even more fun, in my opinion. So like, I remember just thinking to myself, that sucks.
Although it could be a nice tease from them, because who knows, they might. I don't know if that would be possible, but like adding in extra things,
I'm sure it could.
they could possibly.
I mean, that's the one thing I've obviously Borderlands is renowned for its guns, but in like Borderlands 1 and 2, the difference in the guns would be like, oh, this shoots 2 bullets instead of 1 bullet at a time, or this has a slightly bigger magazine. Now it's like, no, this is completely different, and like, it's so cool.
The variance of the guns is really good,
Yeah.
and I also really like that they added trinkets, because I love customizing stuff. The fact that I can customize stuff in a Borderlands game is great.
How do you do that? Because I've got trinkets, and I'm just like, I don't know what
So
to do.
if you go to your inventory, and there's like the tab on the left side where your equipped guns are, there should be a tiny little box next to each gun. If you move over to that and select it, you can then put on a trinket onto your gun.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a bunch of like little things that aren't that obvious when customizing stuff.
Sure.
Like I've been watching Ethan stream it recently, and he's never played a Borderlands game ever. So I'm constantly like giving tips in chat,
Wow,
like, oh, you can do this and you can do this. Like he was picking up like the character head skin things. Like you just get those and have those in your inventory. He just kept them in his inventory. Like, I don't know what to do with these.
I didn't
Like,
press
no,
them.
he didn't select them to unlock them. I was just like, oh my god.
I think in Borderlands 2, when
so funny,
I had to get back into it, and when I was playing Borderlands 2, same thing happened. Like, I had a custom skin or whatever, and I never pressed it, so I was like, oh, there's a gun here. Oh, it's really cool. Let me see what I can swap out. I'm like, oh, I can't get rid of the skins. I need to take them back.
No.
So I'd like have to throw things around. And then just went, I'm pressing it, and it went boom. I'm like, oh shit, all right.
Like, to be honest, it's not obvious to do that, but I'm just used to it, because that's how it was in all the other games.
It's in your blood.
Yeah, I'm very much into Borderlands, so
I
kind of know.
I want to
how
play the
everything works.
pre-sequel. That's the only game.
The pre-sequel is great.
That's the only one I haven't played now.
If you're ever down to, we should totally stream it.
Yeah, dude.
Because I want to play, because I've never actually been able to play the full game as the doppelganger, which is the Handsome Jack doppelganger.
Yes.
Because I usually play as Athena, who you see in Tales from the Borderlands, the shield lady.
Yes, I do remember who you're on about. She was cool.
She's a great character.
Yeah, she's really cool. Tales is fantastic. Tales is actually like up there as one of my favorite games, just because I don't know, it's just really charming, and everything about it's like, it's just really cool. And
Yeah.
I'm so glad to be playing Borderlands 3 and getting references from Tales, because not Reese. Who's the other one? The one who
Born.
Yeah. Because when I saw him, I was like, wait, I've heard his voice before. I'm trying to think, like, where's his fucking voice coming from? And I went, I swear I know this guy. And then I went, oh, it's you. And it was really nice to be like, oh, it's you. You're fucking awesome.
He's so very different to how he was in Tales, though, and I find that it's hilarious.
It's kind of a story, though, isn't it?
Yeah. So I don't really want to spoil, but in Tales, he's a completely different character.
Yeah.
And then he ends up on Pandora, and he loves it there, and becomes what he is in Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
And I just love that. And then Reese is the same. He's gone from awkward tech guy to CEO of Atlas, but he's still a dumbass.
I haven't. But I say I haven't met Reese. The only bit what I've seen of Reese right now is the projector of him. The hologram. Yeah, that's the word. And that's it. And I'm just sitting there going, oh, it's really cool to see you again, dude. I got
Wait to get to the mission where you like help him out on Atlas HQ. Again, I'm not going to spoil it, but it's so good.
It's so hard not to spoil a game when you're really pumped about it. And
like there's one bit at the end of that mission where he like thanks you for helping him out and stuff, and it does like a big hint to Tails, and it made me so funny. I love it. It's so good.
I hope there's like a lot of throwbacks to Tales from the Borderlands, because a lot of people missed it. A lot of people missed that game because it's different to the original Borderlands. And the only reason I believe I started playing it was, I think, because of you, actually, because you were like,
I did suggest it.
I think it was you, and I remember playing it and I thought, fuck, this is actually really good, like really fun, really really well written, and yeah, it's just nonsense, and it's fantastic. It didn't. I never felt like there was any like urgency or any kind of scary moments. Like, oh god, this might the consequences.
It's very different from the main games, but Tales is actually what got me into the series. So which is why I hold it in such a kind of like close place to my heart, because I watched Sean's playthrough of Tales. And I watched like a bunch of people after that, and they weren't doing like the route that I wanted to do. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to buy it myself and do the route, because I wanted to do the Handsome Jack route, whereas everyone else was doing the Fiona route, where you side with her and everything. Whereas I was immediately taken by how hilarious Handsome Jack was, and how much of a psychopath he is. One of my favorite characters.
This is the thing with Borderlands 3 as well. Like, you know when you have the Calypso twins, every time they come on, in my head I'm just going, oh, I miss Jack. Like, I'm like, oh, he's just a better antagonist in the end. Like, those two,
he is. He's a hard one to beat.
Those two just annoy the shit out of me.
Yeah, to give them some slack, to start out with, they're really annoying. But as you go on and you find out more of their story and more of like them together and their dynamics and what's exactly going on there and their powers and stuff, it's a little bit more interesting, and there's a little bit more depth to it. But when they're projecting the live streamer, I'm a dickhead, give me your lives, it's like, because they're meant to. They're meant to come across as these annoying live streamers. Like, they've done that well, I have to admit. Because that's something that I liked with Handsome Jack, was he really does do the, like, charming and, like, leads you in because he's funny and charming. And then being just a complete mass-murdering psychopath. And you're like, oh, I actually like you as a character, but you're horrible. You
can see how, like, he got to the top, because it's not just because he's extremely intelligent, but he's charming. Like, he's charismatic.
That's also another thing. Like, he is intelligent. He knows what he's doing. He's smart. That I really liked. He wasn't just some dumbass villain who was like, I just want to kill you because whatever. Well, actually, no, he does do that. But he does it because he just wants to. He's like, you know what? I'm going to fuck your shit up. I don't care. That's just my fun.
I think it was me and Jane last week were talking about villains and stuff, and like we're talking about that some villains need a backstory, but then sometimes for the Joker, there's no backstory. He's just evil as fuck, and he does what he wants. It's not. Well, no, you want to say evil, but
Joker sort of has a backstory.
I'm talking about Heath Ledger Joker. So like you go in, and there's no reason.
Explained, but if you know I grew up in a family of complete nerds. So
Hell
my
yeah.
stepdad loves the Batman comics, and so I've read a whole bunch of them. So I'm always like, oh, they probably took this influence from this film, even though they don't necessarily talk about it. You can see where the influence comes from, and what type of character they're portraying from which comic, and all of that jazz.
That's cool though. I didn't know you were that deep into that kind of stuff. That's awesome.
I wouldn't say I am into comics, but I haven't read enough to be like into comics. I definitely do like it, and I definitely grew up in like my whole family play video games. They collect action figures.
So cool.
Like it's good to be in an environment of people who, they like the same stuff that you do.
You geek out together.
I like the stuff that I do because I grew up with this family. So
I don't think I got my enthusiasm for anything like that from anyone else apart from me, my brother Josh. Like he's pretty much into the exact same thing as me. He got me into anime, and then I swear he's the person who told me. I just kicked the goddamn table. Okay, I'm fine. I think he was the one who actually showed me Jacksepticeye actually, because I remember I think he was watching and I was thinking like, oh, he's a bit loud and all this kind of thing, not my taste. And then obviously lo and behold we get massive respect for him, but I swear it's from Josh. Like I don't think I would have streamed, I don't think I would have started YouTube, I don't think I would have done anything if it wasn't for Josh's influence. So it's a weird one how it all goes around.
I also got a lot of influence from my siblings. Like I've got 2 older sisters who were both super into anime when I was younger. So I liked anime at the time, not so much now because I just haven't had the time for it.
Sure.
But I was super into it because they like showed me it. Like my sister had all of the Naruto comic manga. I then got into Bleach because she gave me her old ones because she then wanted to concentrate on Naruto. Then my second oldest sister was super into Akira, and she had all of the manga for that. I grew up with those 2, and also they were the ones that got me super into games as well, because we'd play, we'd share consoles, so we'd have the PS1 and the PS2, and they'd all pile into my room because it was the biggest one, and we'd play games together. So I remember vividly playing Resident Evil 4 with my sister, and we'd swap controllers when it got too scary or too hard.
That's so cute.
Yeah, so the bit where you get to the regenerator.
Oh yeah.
God, it's such I remember it so clearly.
It's so vivid, yeah.
And we got to it for the first time. We were like, "What the fuck is that noise?"
And
she was like, "I don't want to go around the corner. I don't want to go around the corner. You take it." So I was like, I went like 2 steps forward. I was like, "No, you take it back. I'm not doing this."
Because you can just hear the breathing, kind of say.
Yeah.
You're like,
so good.
It's still creepy. Like
it is.
I'm still doing my playthrough of it, but like I got to that part because I always get hyped about that part, and I hope my enthusiasm is shared with the people who are watching, because I'm like, this is so fucking cool, because when I was a kid I played it and I was super scared, and you just hear
there's so much nostalgia for it.
Yeah, but it's good though. It's a good game, and there's a reason.
It still holds up. Like that's what I always say about the Silent Hill, at least the first 4, they hold up completely, especially the first 2 and 3.
Yeah.
First one, maybe not so much, because that is the oldest. I think and some of the voice acting is a little bit.
I like the second. I like Silent Hill 2's
The second and the
one.
Third are the best in the series, in my opinion.
I agree. There's something about Silent Hill 1 though. I feel like Silent Hill 1, because they didn't have the graphics as much, the sound design is
the sound and the music is great. But I feel like they improved on that with the second one, especially.
Yeah.
Like second one is the best one.
Yes.
But third one, it's hard to find to place them above each other, because the third one I remember more because that was the one that I mainly played when I was younger. And I also really liked Heather as a character.
I was about to say.
There's more nostalgia for the third one for me because I played that one the most. But the second one I played later and really enjoyed that one more.
See, I was in a unique position where, I say unique, it's not that unique, where I only played Silent Hill 1, 2, and 3 to completion when I started streaming. Yeah, so like.
Well, that's also I didn't stream it, but the first one I haven't actually played technically, because I mainly watched my stepdad play it because he would play all the games all the way through, and we just like watch. which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's like family game time. But I remember the first one enough to then be like, oh, I'll just play the second and third one on my own. Plus, I also had those on the PS1, and then the third one was on the PS2, I think.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. And then I later got both of them for the HD collection on the Xbox 360.
Which isn't as good.
It isn't as good, but I like it for certain parts, and the fact that the because you can have the updated voice actors for the second one, and
That's
Troy
right.
Baker is James Sunderland, so I was like, okay, this is great. I fucking love Troy. So
Troy is fantastic, to be fair.
oh, he's such a cool dude.
Yeah, he's a nice guy, and like, I need to watch some more of their videos because I haven't watched them for a while, but I need to get on it
as well. I'm really behind on a lot of videos.
I think you do sometimes. Like you just get busy, or you'll just you. It's like obviously YouTube and your sub box is on a constant rotation, so if you might miss a day of YouTube and you'll think, oh, I'll go back to it later, but you don't. You just keep up to date with whatever's released on that day, and then it takes you a while to get back into it. Unless you're watching Ethan's videos, then you got a bit of a challenge with that one.
680.
Is it 680? What was that?
He said 680, but someone else said it was like 320. Oh my god, that was so. Oh,
I jumped.
So funny.
I jumped into a stream where he's panicking, and I was like,
I did. Yeah, no, I missed that stream. I watched the one later where he was just like, "Well, I'm sorry."
It cracked me up because I told Emily about it, and then we usually watch YouTube together, and I was going, okay, well, let's have a look at what he's on, because we look at like Game Grumps, Markiplier, and Sean and stuff like that, and it's like scrolling through. Okay, and then also just Ethan.
All of young Ethan.
Yeah, and then like one person who we're trying to find is right there, and I just cracked up.
So funny.
It was hilarious, and you know what? Even though it's like a fuck up, it's a good fuck up. It's a funny fuck up, and people are gonna.
It's a funny fuck up, yeah.
And like I feel like the people who have obviously unsubscribed from him they're going to subscribe back like today more than likely, because they just needed to clear it all up and then do it.
Like, we don't want this in my sub box. That's too much.
I just went on to the individual channels. I was like, I don't want to unsubscribe. It's not nice to do that. We push through the pain. That's what we do.
Everyone subscribe to Craig Gameplays.
He's a good lad. He's a good lad.
He's a good dude. Honestly, like, no kidding. Met him. Well, I was gonna say a bunch of times. Once. I feel like I've met him more though. Like, he's one of those people that you just like. He's really just nice to hang out with, and I've had the pleasure to hang out with a bunch of people. And it's just, I don't know. It's nice to be in like in a chill environment and realize it's like, oh yeah, you're not this like super. Wow, it's me, Craig Gameplays, but he's just chill and nice and cool. And it's like, oh, that's nice.
That was a fantastic impression, by the way. That was so spot on.
Yeah.
Whoa! No, like, it's the same thing with, obviously, Sean. Like, you hold him at high regard to start with, but it's like, no, we're just cool.
They're just dudes. Yeah. They're just dudes. Like, this is the last time I saw Sean, we were just, like, fucking around talking about memes. Like, it wasn't serious at all. It was just dumb stuff, and I love it. It's just, you know,
but I think
just chill and silly, and
that's how it should be as friends. Yeah. Like, you just gotta just chat about shit and make fun of each other, and that's about it. Like, me and my friend, I can't repeat what we said because it's kind of disgusting what we're talking about. But we went gym, and afterwards it was just one of those ones where, like, you ever done it where you say something, or your friend you want to like admit something what you've done, which is kind of weird and all that, to your friends, and then you go, oh, I've done that too, and you go, oh, and then you start going back and forth. Like, it's just one of those where you can't do that unless they are an actual friend.
Yeah, I have a best friend who I can just talk about anything to her, and she just does not care, and she does the same for me. Like,
it's good.
It's great. It's great to have friends like that who just you can just say anything and you just don't care, and
it's what you
neither
need.
do they.
It's what you need, because it's like and the thing with those kind of friendships, I'm assuming obviously on your side that obviously it's all good, well and good when it's friendly and we're having fun and making fun of each other. But then if you're upset or there's something bothering you, you're like, oh, can I talk to you about this? And they're still okay with that. Like, that's a proper friend. Like, the ones who can sit through that and just be there for you in those moments too. I think
those are the friends that that are the closest, because people who I know that I can talk to about anything, that includes like serious stuff and things I've got going on.
Mm.
Like if I just need to talk to someone about something, I'm just like, I've got shit on my mind. I need to talk to someone.
Yeah.
I have like, there's certain people I'm like, yep, no, this person I could talk to, and this person and this person. Either for like specific things, because some of them can relate more than others. And then there's that one best friend who you can just talk to about literally anything.
Yeah.
You know, they're good people to have in your life. People who, you know, they understand you, you understand them, and you feel comfortable just talking to them.
That's true, and it's okay to not have like, you don't have to be like that for every single one of your friends.
Yeah,
you know,
like there's friends I have who we keep it light, and sometimes if they'll need to vent and talk to me about something, I'm like, yeah, no, you can do that. Even if I may not necessarily vent to them.
That's fine.
I like being there for them as well, and also just having friends to just goof around with and be silly with is also a good thing.
I think you need that though.
Yeah.
Like you can see there's people where, you know, they're trying to have fun, but it's really awkward fun. Like they're trying too hard. It's because they're not used to it, and just being a silly goose with your friends is like, it's great. Alcohol helps. Like to start with, alcohol is an icebreaker, and like even though I don't drink that much, but when the last time I drank was around my friend's house, and I just drank, and then we got into this like playing around kind of thing, pushing each other around, and just always really fun moments. And it can happen obviously when you're sober, but then it's like, oh, it loosens you up, you know?
Yeah. I'm definitely one of those people when I'm drunk. I get very affectionate. I'm just like, oh, I love everyone. Oh, give me hugs, kind of thing. And then also I'm like, if there's music playing, I am going to sing.
Yes.
And I'm gonna fucking dance, even though I can't dance. And I'm gonna try and include my friends as much as possible. And, but
as much as possible. So
fun.
Really, you're like in the middle of the dance floor, just pointing and tell them to come over, and then just going, no, Joe, you just do you, buddy. You just do you.
No, I'm more likely to like dance on the sidelines and then be like, okay, this friend, you're coming with me, and now we're dancing together in the middle. Like, I'm not that confident to do it on my own yet, but
I've definitely actually. It's more like if I go to a festival and I'm listening to, I think it was. No, it wasn't Baby Metal. It was.
Baby Metal. Oh my God.
Baby Metal was so good, but I'm trying to think. It is.
It seemed like an interesting one.
Motorhead. It was Motorhead.
Oh.
And me and my friend, I had my backpack on, and my friend was kind of nervous about it, and there's a massive mosh pit, and I think it's a circle pit going on. So I just looked at him and went, right, and just jumped right backwards into it, and I got like trashed. But,
oh my God.
But it was just...
Mosh pits are fun as heck. The last concert I went to was Gojira, and I went with a friend of mine, and he's gone to so many metal concerts. He's all about like, okay, I will barge someone if I need to. I will punch someone if I need to. Like, he's a great one to go to concerts with. But I just threw myself into it, and it was so fun. I think I was in like 4 circle pits at one point. It's like, okay, here's one, here's another one. Oh fuck! But it's so really fun, and Gojira was great. Oh God, I need to go to more metal concerts. Like,
come to download next year. Do it. Oh, froze.
I haven't done any festival. I've done, technically the only festival was that Queens of the Stone Age one at Finsbury Park. That one was good, but I nearly got trampled to death, so that was not good on that front.
Definitely.
But I do want to go to festivals at some point. I just haven't found one where I like the majority of the people playing.
I get you. I mean,
because I have a very fussy music taste, but also a very niche music taste, where there's a lot of stuff that isn't super popular or mainstream, which makes me sound like a fucking hipster. But...
Can you give me some examples? Because like I might have heard of them, or to be fair, I like listening to your Spotify playlist because I'm like, oh, I've not heard this one before, so let's listen to it. So,
there's I do like some well, even then I say some popular stuff, but like Queens of the Stone Age, Radiohead, Placebo, people know.
Yeah.
But no one is really kind of like, they're not super popular.
No one's into them.
They've got a massive fan base who are really dedicated to them, but they're not like completely, like if you mention their name, someone's like, oh yeah, I know of them. But they're not like, I don't know, Rihanna, Taylor Swift or something. Like people who are very clearly like, oh, I'm super into them whenever you talk about
like
it.
Like a home, is it a home name? I can't remember what it's called, but like household name, that's the one. Household
so like,
name.
So like I went out the other day and I went to this like clothing shop, which was kind of like gothic stuff and things. And they
were no surprise there, buddy.
But there was music playing at the back of the shop, and it was like a metal band that I'd never heard of before. That sounded a bit like Korn and a bit like Slipknot mixed together. I was like, oh!
Yeah.
So I looked at the counter. I was like, who is this? And they're called Cane Hill. If you've heard of them.
I'm trying to think. I
have to link you them because you're gonna like them.
Yeah.
But I've been listening to one of their albums nonstop recently, and it's so good. It's like I really like the sort of 90s, noughties nu metal stuff.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
And it reminds me a lot of that, and like slightly of 3 Days Grace, who I used to love a lot as a teen. God, I remember listening to Animal I Have Become or I Hate Everything About You when I was like 12 and I was edgy.
I've heard of that one. I Hate Everything About You.
Yeah. I've heard that one. What those were. That was actually is it I Hate Everything About You? One of those two was one of the first things I tried to learn on bass.
You can play bass.
Like I have a bass.
Nice.
I don't play it enough to actually know how to play it. I want to learn properly at some point. I can sort of remember how to play, but not enough to call myself an actual bassist. But,
There was a stream. Like, if you ever wanted to stream something, be like, hey guys, I'm just going to practice this for a bit.
I'm just going to, dish around on the bass.
You should definitely do it. If you got some kind of skill level, like where you can actually put something together, it's when you go, all right guys, I'm going to play this, and you're like,
yeah, see, I don't think I have that skill level yet.
Okay.
I want to, but the only thing I can actually say that I've got some skill in is singing, because I just do that all the time anyway.
You do?
Yeah. I ever since I was a kid, I used to like sing along to stuff in the car. I used to sing along to stuff in my room, just with like headphones on, and I don't know, I sing all the time. And as anyone who watches my streams knows, like I sing all the time if there's music playing.
It's nice though. It's really charming, to be fair, when you do it, because it's like, oh, you're having a good time, and it's kind of like therapeutic for you, if you would. Like, it's kind of just
it's nice to
relaxing.
Yeah, it's relaxing to. Well, when I did art streams, I haven't been doing them so much recently because I haven't got my stuff set up on the new PC yet. Because I'm, haven't got around to it yet. Even though I've had this PC for like 4 months.
All your fans are like, "Come on, Joe."
I know. Everyone's like, "Oh, we don't want gaming. We want art." I'm like, but I want to play games.
I know. Games are fun though.
It's been fun, but just like drawing and having Spotify on in the background and just singing along to stuff. Even though like I don't sing at like my highest capacity, it's more like karaoke singing, to be honest. But at some point I do want to do actual covers. I've talked about it for a while, and yeah, people really want them apparently.
It's good though, dude. Like just because then it's a chance for you to express yourself, and obviously express yourself through art and all that. But if it's another way to do that, then just do it. And I think it's one of those where like you want to do it, you build up to it, and it never happens, and the moment it does happen, you'll start doing it, and you'll be comfortable, and you'll get better and better and better with that.
That's what I was because like I love a lot of things. I don't know if you've noticed but like most of the time people associate me as being an artist, which that is the majority of what I do, and that is my job technically. But I love gaming, I love videos and editing. I nearly went to film school at some point. Like I fucking love film. Studying film, analyzing film, making films and editing them. Like that whole process I loved.
I didn't know you into that.
Yeah, no, I did that. I did media studies in sixth form. And it was one of the best 2 years I've had ever with like school stuff. I made a music video with friends because that was part of the coursework. We had to make a music video.
That's awesome. We
could pick like any band we wanted. At the time, I was super into The Neighborhood. And so with my friends, who were like, "Oh, let's pick a Neighborhood song," and I'll show you the music video afterwards, but I'll link it to you. I'm still really proud of it, even though I made it in like 2016 or something.
Wow. Do you mind me like putting it up on the screen at all? I won't be able to put music up because it'll take the.
Oh yeah.
But if it's a music video you made,
I don't mind. Yeah.
Cool.
If you want,
we'll definitely do that. That'd be really cool to see. I didn't know you were into editing and stuff like that.
Yeah. No. So with that project, I did most of the editing, most of the filming, apart from the bits where I'm actually in the footage, because of course I couldn't film that.
Ah, that's cool.
But my friends weren't so much into the editing things because they found it kind of boring. So I would just end up like in the media room every single day, every hour of the day, just like editing the video because I just really enjoyed it.
I'm not a big fan of editing personally. I get too stressed. I'm like, I remember the first time I tried to edit something, and with editing, for me at least, it was like there's a simple solution to a problem I have, but it takes me fucking forever to find out what the solution is.
Yeah, once you find out how everything works, because like I did the music video in my second year of sixth form. The first year we did like a opening to a short film or something. I can't remember. It was terrible because we didn't spend that much time editing. We didn't spend that much time kind of like doing anything really.
Sure.
And I wasn't used to any of the stuff, so I didn't know what I was doing. Whereas in the second year, I kind of knew a little bit more. So once you have more practice with using the software and you're like, oh, I want to do this effect. I don't know how to do it, but I'm going to try doing this and this. And you're like, oh, it clicks together and, you know, it works.
Okay.
And you just kind of mess around with stuff. I like experimenting with things. Just like, okay, I have an image in my head. It's like with art. I do it with art as well. Well, I have an image in my head. And I'm like, okay, by the end of it, it's not exactly how I imagined, but I went a different route with it, and I used some of the tools, and I'll use like a special pen or something to get like some texture or whatever.
Okay.
I don't fucking know. You just experiment with what you have, and you'll be like, oh, that surprisingly looks good.
Yeah, I get that.
So
that's so interesting. Like, see, I have to try and relate to something what I do at least, because or else it just goes over my head. So mine is like. With martial arts and stuff, because I'll be teaching certain things, and because I'm teaching kids, I've got to do it in a certain way that they're going to grasp. But the moment when you can figure out a perfect way to teach a certain drill or certain punch or kick, whatever it is, and the kids go, oh, and it's like those moments will always like make a massive deal for me. They're a huge deal for me, because it's like, oh, I'm still learning how to teach, because God damn, like teaching's really fun, and what I do for a living's fun, and it can be stressful sometimes, but those moments where it just works, like that works. That really helps me. And going back to what you were talking about, sometimes I'll throw in a combination or a certain way to get something better, and it works. You're like, oh shit, it worked, nice. And then you carry on. Like, those moments are really special. And
I do a lot of that with what I do, because like I'm still learning all the time how to do things. I'm still learning to draw. I'm still learning to make videos, even though I haven't really done that so much recently. But and streaming as well. Like, I technically started streaming in 2017. I had no webcam. I had no microphone. I think there was just music playing and then me drawing.
Nice.
That's how I started out. I don't even know if I had music playing when I first started out. I can't even remember. But like, I slowly like added on stuff, because I was like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
And with the tech that I have, it's not so great. I can do this, but it's lower quality. And then I upgrade my tech, and I'm like, okay, now like now I have a good webcam, so I can use a webcam. I have a good headset, so I can use better sound instead of my shitty laptop, which sounded like it was taking off every 5 seconds.
Yeah, I remember.
I don't miss that at all.
I've been following you. I've been following you for a while. And
you've been, just judging by how long you've been subbed for, like over a year now.
I think it's like 18 months or something like that.
It's nearly like 2 now.
I need to find out, to be fair, but like it's been really nice to see your own streams like progress into not just quality, but even how you're talking, and like, oh yeah, because obviously I can see you. I don't think you can see me. I can see you like looking at the camera over and over again, like you're properly trained. It's like, oh damn, because I barely do that.
Sometimes I'm gonna, there's a camera there. I'll communicate to you. There you go.
I am terrible for it. I'm good at eye contact when it's real, but looking at the camera, I'm like,
one thing you're good at though, which I'm not good at, is talking. You're good at like keeping a conversation going and not just having like lulls of silence, because whenever I've caught onto your streams, you always have something to talk about. It's like, okay, I'm talking about this game thing that's going on, or I'm going to talk to chat and talk about this thing. It's like, I'm not so great at that. I'll just be like, I don't know what to say anymore.
I don't know, like I don't know why. Like, I think it's just because I'm so used to it because like talking's what I kind of do for a living. Like I'm always teaching, so.
Whereas I'm an artist. I barely have to talk to anyone if I have to.
That's so true. I don't know.
You know, it's kind of hard to get out of my shell a bit, but I've been a lot better than I was like when I started out. Like I used to not speak to anyone online and also in person. Like I couldn't have imagined myself going to PAX East like at the beginning of this year and having so many people come up to me and talk to me and me actually talk to them and not be a complete nervous wreck, even though I'm still a nervous wreck. But
that's nice though.
Less so. And also meeting people that like I'm friends with and I care a lot about. Like I couldn't have managed doing like actually socializing with people because I have a very kind of isolating job and environment. Like I live in the English countryside where there's just fields and sheep,
and the occasional cow.
And the occasional cow, yeah. And it's just a tiny village just in the middle of nowhere. So I barely get out, and when I do, it's kind of with like maybe one or two friends. I'm not like the biggest social person. So when I then am thrown into an environment like PAX East where there's tons of people, and also there's tons of people who know me and care about what I do, and it's like, oh, this is new. I didn't expect this.
What was it like? Sorry, please continue.
Oh no, I didn't even know what I was going to say, but you carry on. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, like, how did it feel for you, like, when someone went, "Oh, are you SpaceJellyBeans?" and like, how did that? What was your process?
The first time that happened was I went to Sean's show in November. That's where I went you as well.
Yeah, of course.
But no, it wasn't Sean's show. It was Mark's show. It was the How Do We Get Here? Not your How Do We Get Here. Your Welcome tour.
That's it.
I'm getting all of them mixed up.
It's fine.
It was the Your Welcome tour because I met Maddie for the first time there because I didn't know her and we'd barely talked, and now we're really close friends now. But there was just random people there was 3 people or 4, who came up to me and they're like, "Are you SpaceJellyBeans?" I was like, "Yeah, that's me, hi." And I was a complete nervous wreck. I did not know what to say. I felt awkward because I was like, you're probably expecting me to talk and communicate and, you know, be a personality or whatever. Which I'm not really, but no, it was still nice, but I was definitely, compared to that, and then at the end of the year of that, I then went to Sean's show, and I met a whole bunch of people, and also met Sean, and also met Jane for the first time, and Soko, and a bunch of others. Like, meeting friends for the first time, and fans coming up to me and being like, "Oh, you're SpaceJellyBeans, hi." And I was like, okay, this is new. Which then, even more so, like, every single time I've got out and done something in an environment like that, it's just like a complete step up.
Yeah.
Because PAX East, there was like... Because I was with Milo and he was counting it at that time because he was finding it hilarious how flustered I was.
That's amazing.
But like on one of the days I had 10 people come up to me. On one day.
That's
and
so
then
cool.
for the rest of the week, it was probably like 10 for each day. So I was there for 4 days. No, longer than that, but 4 days of the con. So it was about 40 or so people who recognized me and wanted photos with me and wanted me to talk to them.
It's so cute.
It's really nice. Like, I never would have expected that. I never would have thought that I'd get to a point where people cared about me and what I do.
I know what you mean, yeah.
And even though like a lot of people who were there were more so fans of like John and Ethan and those guys, and
understandable,
and they knew me through them. Like, it's still like, I appreciate it. Like, people who actually wanted to spend the time to come up to me and talk to me is like, that's so sweet.
I guess like it's one of those where obviously they're going to know you through Sean and Ethan and stuff, but they actually want to know you, and that's the most important part. Like, of course they're going to say, "Oh, I found you through this," but that's okay. But I actually want to know about you. And how are you as a person? I mean, again, I always say this, but that's why I wanted to do this, because it gives everyone a chance to be like, hey, I know Joe, as you said earlier, like, artist, and you stream, but it's like, there's more, there's more to you, you know? And
it's like, I like talking to people. That's why I've really liked streaming, and I need to do it a lot more than I do, because whenever I do stream, I'm like, I really like that. I really like talking to people and, you know, people seeing a side to me that they don't necessarily see online. And even though that's not my goal, like I'm not out there to be like, look, it's me. I'm just like, I make stuff, and if you're interested, that's cool. And if you're talking to me, that's really cool. So, but it's nice to just communicate and not just be like, oh, you're an artist. This is what you do. That's it. Like I'm not as I'm not as 2D as that. There's more to it than that. The same with you as well. Like my first impression of you is very different to how I do. Because at first I was like, you constantly shared like well, the first thing that you did was you DM'd me asking me to share something for you, and I was like,
did I?
Yeah, you did. You did. You were like, oh, like you're really cool. Could it be possible if you like retweeted this thing about this thing? And I was like,
I think I know.
Because I get that a lot, but you had good intentions about it, so I was like, okay, that's that's not bad. You weren't doing it to be like, big me up, I'm a YouTuber.
Nah, fuck that.
But and then I got to know you a bit more, and you're just a genuinely nice guy, and you care about a lot of things, and you care about a lot of people, and like what you do and stuff, and like doing this sort of thing where you're just showcasing artists and personalities and YouTubers, and it's cool.
It's kind of like why I wanted to. I think why I said this to Jane, but like why I wanted the artist to come on to have a camera, because I even though like I'm on camera and stuff, but I don't want it to be about me. I don't really care. Like we'll have talks and all that, but when it's me and then just a still image of the artist, I'm kind of like, I don't want the attention to be on me. I want it to be like mainly about you, because you're. I understand that the reasons why a lot of people are going to be watching these videos isn't because of me. It's the people who I get on the video.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I want it to be like. And like if the videos get numbers and the channel grows from it, that's nice. But for me, it's like I get just a chance to hang out with some really cool people, and like I keep getting and like that's terrible. But like just
don't worry, I'm an Aaron whenever I'm.
I need to get out of that habit, because I catch myself doing it all the time. And
it's a very hard habit to get out of. Like I work really hard to not stutter all the time, because I used to stutter a lot.
Really?
Yeah. It wasn't like super bad, but it was bad enough that I did not want to speak, and I just was like, I'm a stuttery mess, and I don't want to,
When
I just kept quiet all the time.
Was this before we met, or? In what
it was
context?
mainly from when I was at school. So I hated talking in front of the class. I hated talking to anyone really. And I don't know, I just felt really insecure about it. Like I've never been the best at communicating myself, and I feel like I don't communicate myself concisely. When I get into it, sometimes I can, but sometimes like my train of thought will suddenly stop, and I'm like suddenly everything's out of my brain and I can't speak. But it's a lot better than what it used to be. And maybe like when I started I started my Twitter in 2017, and I started streaming then. And when I first started streaming, I was really nervous about it. Like I didn't know how to communicate. I didn't really know how to talk to chat and stuff like that. But
I don't think
you get better at
knows,
it the more that you do it.
I don't think anyone knows how to do it to start with, though.
Like, oh yeah, for sure.
Dude, at that charity stream, I watched my old videos. As in, I've never watched my old videos ever. And I watched the very, very first one I uploaded, and it was me playing Overwatch. And I was on my bed, and I didn't say a single word for the entire video. And I edited it, I uploaded it, and I thought that'll do. Now I'm gonna be fine. And I watched it, and I thought, fuck me. And it's kind of weird, like I said, like again, but how far you do come, and recognizing how far you come.
Yeah.
And I think when you recognize that kind of thing, it gives you that little bit of a, oh yeah, I have got better. I can still get better. And just working that kind of stuff out, because I think sometimes when you're doing it over and over and over again, you don't realize how far you've come because you're focused on the present. I always chalk it up to like, well, I didn't experience this that much, but when you're younger and you're getting a bit taller. But like you don't notice it until one of your family members hasn't seen you for a while goes, oh, look how much you've grown. You're like, have I? Like you just saying that to me about what I'm like and how I've come. It's like Oh yeah, you just don't
It's like
think about it.
you don't notice it until someone is like, "Oh yeah, no, I remember what you were like at this point, and you're right everywhere now." Like
Mm.
I have that in different levels. I have that personally in how like I communicate to a camera and communicate to people, but I also have that with my art where like my old art is horrendous. But
Have you got
I
any posted? I want to see it. Come on,
okay.
let's embrace it.
I can go back on I think my Tumblr. Even then my Tumblr got restarted at some point, so it doesn't have like my super old stuff. Let me try and
Is it on Tumblr or is it going to be on Instagram? Because I'm going to throw it up on the big screen.
Oh.
Don't you worry, we've got to embrace it.
Oh my okay, let me check my Instagram as well. SpaceJellyBeans.
I can sense the nervousness in your voice.
There's some stuff that I'm just like well, I'm a lot better at it now.
Yeah.
Even though I did say that it was like the complete shite, but I know that at that point I didn't know as much as I did now. So of course it's not going to be as good as what I'm currently doing.
No.
Which just makes sense. Okay.
I think it's good to look back though, and I avoid it because I knew how bad I was. Like I can just and it's not face it. It's kind of it was one of those where I could either watch it on my own and then just be cringy, or I can actually let everyone else watch it too, and then it's like I can make it a thing in a sense. Like I can react to it and not just sit there and go, what the fuck was I doing? But I turned it into a bit, and it was fun. It was a really fun moment, and I don't know, just like we said, if looking back at that stuff and just realizing where you started and where you are now, I think that makes a huge difference. And yeah, are you? Oh, hang on, I don't know.
There you go.
Let me see if I can do this because
my Instagram. I just scrolled back myself to the old. There's some stuff that I've archived because I just did not like it.
That's fair.
But I like one of the first proper drawings on there is something. It's like a Rooster Teeth one because I was super into. It's like 2017. I know that one is from like 2015 or 16.
You just linked me to your Instagram account, by the way, dude.
Yeah. I'm gonna do Instagram instead of Tumblr. Tumblr. Because
whereabouts is?
There you go.
Oh,
this is the first one, the first proper one.
Where you send it me? Sorry, dude. On Instagram.
In Discord.
Oh, in the Discord. Hang on. Oh, I'm panicking.
Oh, actually, one of the first proper ones is this one, which is a Borderlands one. Jesus.
Wait, that's not that bad.
Yeah, no, these aren't that bad because I have archived some of the stuff that I didn't like, and this is only like 2016. So it's not that bad. Yeah, but it's like, oh my god, let's compare this. This Handsome Jack one that I'm just linking you. To one of the ones that I showed you or I gave you for the announcement thing.
Oh yeah.
Look at the difference between that and this.
I love your you sound like Jamie Clarkson then.
that
and this. You know what? Actually, yeah, I totally understand what you're talking about. Give me a second.
It's such a difference. Like my line work is so much better because in the first one it's like super sketchy. And the colors don't pop so much, and like the yellow in the background of the first one isn't that good of a yellow to use, and it doesn't go with the rest of the drawing. Whereas in the second one, like the yellow is like a warm yellow, and it goes with the red, and it goes with the other colors, and the line work is 10 times better, and like the actual setup of the drawing. And I've actually drawn other things other than a person. Like it's just so much better, and I've improved so much since 2016, and like that's 3 years, yeah. So
3 years, fuck
yeah.
Hell.
3 years can have a lot of change.
Yeah,
a lot of change.
A lot. That's crazy. I've liked that one. It's really cool. I like it a lot. I didn't realize he has the symbol on his face as well. Is it the Vault Hunter?
Yeah,
I don't know what it's called.
It's the Vault symbol.
Yeah.
You'll understand the context of that if you play the pre-sequel.
Okay.
It shows how he. Well, no. If you play Borderlands 2, no, it's the pre-sequel. Yeah. I'm getting confused because Borderlands 2, he has the mask and everything. And you can possibly see his face if when you kill him, his mask comes off. But sometimes he'll die like face down on the ground and you won't see it. But sometimes you'll be able to see his face. Anyway.
It's so always nice to hear you geek out, by the way.
Yeah. Anything to do with Handsome Jack, I'm just like, oh, Handsome Jack.
Is there any is there any comics or anything like that for Borderlands? I'm surprised there's not.
There is, but I haven't looked into them because I haven't heard that they're like fantastic. They're just, they've got like some. I don't know if the lore is also canon either. I don't think it is. So I haven't really looked into it. But yeah, God, it's weird looking. I'm like scrolling, slowly scrolling up, and I'm seeing some of these. Oh my God, it's like the Fight Club AU I had for Borderlands. That was a massive thing for a while.
You had an AU for a Fight Club AU?
Yeah, I have a Fight Club AU for pretty much anything that I'm into.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, Fight Club is my favorite film of all time.
Is it really?
So, yes, it is.
I know it's in your top 5 or something. I didn't realize it was you.
It's my top favorite film. Like, I sometimes, I'm like, I like a lot of films, but no, Fight Club is definitely the top one.
Wow.
There are a lot of things that are close, but there's just something about that film that I can just watch it any time, as many times as possible, and I do not get sick of it. And it's, I don't know, it's great.
Can you explain the ending at all? Because
do I want to spoil? Well, it's been out for like.
Dude, come on! If people ain't watched it, just watch it.
Yeah, but okay, here you go. If you haven't watched Fight Club, watch it now.
Wait,
I'm gonna spoil it.
Wait, the fact that you clapped your hands together means you're properly getting into it. Like,
yeah, no.
All right, let's go. Come
on. So the ending. What part of the ending did you not understand?
Just
because there's multiple parts.
For surviving more than anything. How he survives.
So he shot himself in. He didn't shoot himself in the head. He shot himself through the cheek. So he didn't actually. It's difficult because the ending of the film is different to the ending of the book.
It's a book.
Yeah, it's a book, and it's also really good. Both are amazing. The book is also one of my favorite books of the time. Just because it's written in such a very interesting way. So like the narration part of the film is like how the book is written. Like it's all like it's a narration, and it's really cool. And the way like I'm just gonna end up geeking out about it, but like
do it. I don't mind you geeking out, dude. It's totally fine.
So the writer is Chuck Palahniuk. I don't know how to say his name, but his writing style is really cool. And how you see things through the narrator's eyes, and how he explains things, and how he explains how he feels about the other characters in the book. So it's not just a third person, this character is doing this, and this character is doing this. It's how this character that you're reading and how he's speaking about these other characters and how that he perceives them and his situation. Like, I don't know how to explain it in any other way apart from that. Like, there's something about that and how intricate it is. And how when things mess up in his head, you don't know what's going on because you're seeing it through his eye.
Oh, okay.
So he's like, you don't know what's going on because he doesn't know what's going on. So the difference between that and the film is the film sometimes you can kind of guess what's going on before the character.
Yeah, because Brad Pitt slightly glitches or he ends up in. Yeah.
So like in the first part of the film, there's like a 1 second frame of Tyler Durden, and that happens like 3 times at the start of the film.
Yes.
Before he then meets the character. Which some people will just brush past, being like, I don't know what the fuck that was. Which is also part of the film because
when it's the sexual stuff.
The bit with the cinema where he puts a frame of pornography in a children's film. Which is like, I'm not sure if I actually saw that, but it's happened.
So great.
So it's clever that they have that as like a meta thing for the people watching. Like, so many levels that's so good. And a bit of trivia. In every single scene or frame, I forget if it's scene or frame, of the film, there is a Starbucks cup in the background.
I heard that before.
Because it's showing off like the whole corporate takeover thing and how like brands and businesses have taken over everything. And that's like Tyler's whole thing, is that he wants to destroy everything and bring everyone back to zero. Like that again is just like, they didn't have to do that, but they put that in there. And like people won't notice unless people really look into it. Like, I just love stuff where you can just pick apart everything and find some meaning in it. I
had a similar conversation with Turquoise Magpie, because I believe that she did media as well, but she did the same thing with Shaun of the Dead.
Mm.
I think it was Shaun of the Dead. I could be
Yes.
wrong, but like, yeah, just breaking it all apart and like pointing out certain references and stuff like that. And I'm like, damn, I would love to get into that, but then it's like I need to watch a movie over and over again or find little snippets, and it's like, okay, what am I going to gain from learning it? It's really nice trivia, and
Yeah.
but like hearing it from you, I prefer that because it's like enthusiasm behind it, not just me.
See, it's if you're interested in the thing that you're analyzing. So like I love Fight Club, so analyzing it is in picking it apart and finding like, because sometimes there's some things that I've like, either it could be a game, it could be a film, it could be a TV show, where I've watched it over and over multiple times, and I see new things each time I watch it. Like I rewatched Hannibal
Of course you
beginning
did.
of this year with Jane because she'd never watched it, and now
Uh-huh.
she's like super massive fan into it.
Well, you
You're
guys got
welcome,
me
Jane.
into it. You got me into it too.
Yeah, we got everyone fucking into
You
it.
fucking did.
But I adore that TV show. That is my favorite TV show of all time. And there's just so many parts to that where like there's layers, and the characters all have layers, and the story has layers, and there's sudden like hidden references to the books like throughout the series. There's layers to the character where their character arc is hinted at the beginning, and then later in like the later seasons you're like, oh, that makes sense because he talked about this in this like season 1 rather than in season 3. This is why this happens.
Yeah, I think I know what you're on about.
Yeah, like I love stuff like that where they put in like tiny things that you're gonna miss the first time you watch it, and then later on it just makes so much more sense, and then when you rewatch it you're like, oh, that makes sense. Like,
I'm trying to think of other things what like created those kind of moments. Like one of my favorite TV shows is Breaking Bad. Like,
I like Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad's sensational. Game of Thrones is like up there as my favorite TV show. But then
I haven't watched Game of Thrones.
It's really good.
It's a hard one to get into, at least for me, because I have a tendency not to like fantasy stuff. I don't know why. Like I'm not that into Lord of the Rings, but I've seen all of them.
Interesting.
I saw The Hobbit, and I just like I watched them, but I just didn't get into it. Like Legend of Zelda, I have never played any of the games. I've never really felt like I wanted to. I've only ever wanted to because my best friend is a massive fan of the games, and I kind of feel like it's like I should play one at least. But the whole fantasy universe I've never really liked that much.
Just because you can't cling on to it, like it's nothing.
Yeah,
you can't
like
grasp onto it.
Unlike sci-fi and horror and psychological stuff, that stuff just grips me immediately. Like anything in that genre is just like, okay, yeah, no. And like crime stuff. So I watched Mindhunter recently. If you haven't watched that, watch it. It's
heard great
very
things.
good.
I've heard very good things about it.
It's really, really, really good. Like when I was younger, I watched like serial killer documentaries. Like I don't know. I just love dark stuff a lot. And things that just like mess with your head a bit, like I don't know.
I do like those kind of movies. I'm a massive horror fan, and obviously you know that I like horror games. But like, there's certain movies where there's so much detail what you miss. Like you were talking about, like The Shining is a beautiful example of it all. And that's only one of the only movies where I loved the movie and I actually wanted to listen. Well, I say read, but I don't. I do audiobooks, so I listened to the book. And you listen to it, and it's completely like way deeper in the book. And
I need to read more books because I really want to. Because I watched the first It again recently, and I really want to read the book because my parents are big Stephen King fans, and they have like a lot of the books. But I used to read more when I was a kid, so like I have it actually here. Good Omens, I really loved, and it's one of my favorite books. You can see how much I've read it by how crinkled the spine is, but and like the difference between the book and then the TV show, like I love film and how you can bring stuff out of words and put it into a film and make it a film. Like and it's not necessarily how you envisioned the characters and situation in the book, but it's another take on it, which I also like. But then there's something special about books where if they're written really well, you can just imagine it like it's a film in your head, but it's special to you.
like you're the director, in a sense. Like you're reading the script, but you're like this person's gonna be here and here and here, and they're gonna look like this and this and this, and it might not give you everything right there in written words, so you have to fill in the gaps for yourself. And like, well, again, hopping back to Silent Hill 1, I think that's why I like it quite a lot, because graphically it's alright. For the time, it's great. You can
fill in the gaps,
You can fill in the gaps, and you can like hear certain noises, and you're like, wait, oh shit, what's that look like? I've never seen it.
What I like most in horror, especially horror films, because games do it a lot better than films, I think. Like, I've been more scared playing horror games than I have been watching horror films. It's really hard to find a horror film now that I'm like, okay, that scared the fucking shit out of me.
True. So true.
But, like, with Silent Hill 2, the creatures aren't super detailed.
No.
And you tend to remember them more horrifying than they actually are on screen.
Yeah, that's
and also
true.
Like the sounds and the noises, like that sort of stuff is heightened because sounds aren't as easy to imagine as images are. So if the sound is better and that just like grabs you and like haunts you, then the images are going to be more scary, if that makes sense.
Totally understand.
At least to me.
No.
Like sound design above quality overall.
there's two bits in Silent Hill. In fact, it might be one, but it's where you walk in, you enter a room and it's a long hallway, but the lighting is so perfect that you can only just make out one of the weird creatures in the background. It might have even been a nurse, so it might have been Silent Hill 2. But you just manage to pick out, oh, there's a nurse right there. And Resident Evil 1 remake does the exact same thing, where you walk into the hall and down the hallway you just can make out the zombie, and you're like, oh shit.
There's a perfect part of that in Resident Evil 2, the original, not the remake. Where, although they did do it in the remake, but it's not as scary. When I first played Resident Evil 2, and you hear the licker for the first time, and you see it crawl across the window, and you're like, what the fuck is that? And then it appears later in the game, which you've kind of forgotten about it. It's not just like, here's a glimpse of this thing, and it's immediately there.
Yeah.
It's like, it makes you think about it, like, oh, what was that thing? Am I going to meet it later? And then you forget about it, and suddenly it's there and surprises you. It's like, oh, God.
Okay, we're geeking out now, because Silent Hill 2 does the exact same thing with Pyramid Head.
Oh, yeah! We see him through the bars.
Yes.
Yes.
I
love that.
And it's the exact same way. You're like, oh, what are you?
Yeah, like, you're in a hallway, and then there's, like, the camera is set up in a certain way where you hear the noises as you go past the hallway, and, like, the static starts building up. You're like, is there something down here? So you go down, and you can't see anything until you get right up to the bars, and it's like, Pyramid Head is there.
Yes.
And the sound is, like, slowly building up as you go, and you're like, I hate that, but it's great.
It's iconic. Like,
it's so good.
I'm trying to think, like, a lot of people with Silent Hill, they used to complain about the radio, so the static, because they'd say, oh yeah, but it gives it away that there's zombies, there's creatures there.
It's meant to be there to fucking crawl under your skin and be like, oh god, I can't even see this thing yet, but I can hear it.
Yeah.
And I can hear the static building up and getting louder and louder and louder. It's like, it really associates with like anxiety stuff, where like slowly it just builds up and up and up, and you're like, oh no, like that sort of stuff gets me more than just jump scares, because jump scare is like, scare, it's over.
Lazy.
It's like,
I hate jump
it's
scares.
lazy, it's boring.
Whereas
don't like a slow build up, they're like, at first you don't really notice, like the opening to Silent Hill 2.
Yes.
Where it's one of my favorite parts of the entire thing, and it's the opening, where you're walking through the woods and you can hear the crunching underneath your feet, and then you hear faintly another set of walking feet and crunching.
I thought that was a glitch in the game.
No, it's intentional. It's supposed to be like, is someone following me? And then you start running, and it runs with you, and it's like an echo of like what you're doing, and then you stop, and it stops. And then you start walking again, and you can't hear it, and then all of a sudden it starts kicking up, and it's supposed to just like keep you on edge.
I think
honestly, stuff like that is so subtle that some people don't even notice it. They're just like running about and they don't care. And like,
I believe that's why I even though Resident Evil 4 is my favorite game of all time, Silent Hill as a series, like 1, 2, 3. I haven't really played around with 4 that much, but 1, 2, 3 at least. That tops Resident Evil because, like you just said,
I
the
have to
subtlety.
agree. Like the later Silent Hills don't exist.
Homecoming and Downpour.
Up
No.
to 4 is good because the 4th one, as much as it wasn't actually intended to be a Silent Hill game, it was supposed to be like a standalone. But they made it a Silent Hill game because that's why it feels so different to the rest of them. But I think it still is good on like the horror front and like the atmosphere, and not so much the characters because the characters aren't overly important in the series anyway. They're supposed to just be like boring, normal people who you like sort of warm up to, or you grow to not like in some cases. But you know, as a series, I think Silent Hill is very good, and it revolutionized. Like, I'm pretty sure. Didn't Silent Hill come out before Resident Evil? But they definitely influenced
You
each
talk
other.
and I'll find it, yeah.
But yeah, they definitely, at least like the first Silent Hills, definitely influenced like the later Resident Evils. Like, that is absolutely sure.
I can imagine that, yeah.
And just horror in general. Like, Silent Hill and Resident Evil are like the fucking pioneers of horror majority of the time. Like, a lot of things you can find influences from that. And like, I Resident Evil 4 is also my favorite game of all time, because it started off the sort of. It went from the first games where it's like the stuck camera sort of like high profile thing to then being the over the shoulder sort of thing, which also revolutionized over the shoulder shooter horror games.
Yep.
It was the first ever one, which is why it's so clunky.
Yeah.
At times, I went back to it and played it recently. I forgot how clunky it was, and that you couldn't walk and shoot at the same time. You had to stop and point and shoot. It's like, oh fuck.
Especially in the water level. There's a water level, isn't there? Where you walk in and it's like the crossbows are coming towards you. You got the people with the shields in front, and you're just like, okay, this is fucked. But so Resident Evil 1 came out. I think it's 1996. Yeah, 1996, and that's the original. Because if you can remember, the original Resident Evil 1, the intro wasn't CGI, it was live action. Do you remember it being live action?
Oh.
Do you remember it at all?
I think so. I'm vaguely remembering because I never played that one. My parents played for both series. I never played the first game. I only played the ones afterwards.
I would highly recommend playing them. Dude.
I want to at some point stream all of them. Like, start from the first one and then like carry on to the
I
most
would
recent.
love you to do that, dude. I'd be like there just geeking out with you.
Hell yeah.
And I will. Let me. No, I'm gonna send that over on Instagram. But anyway, Silent Hill 1 is 1999. So there's a 3-year gap.
See, I wasn't sure, but I know one of them was before the other one. But I think the later games for both of them were, you know, because they were the two big horror games around the 90s.
That's true.
So they definitely sort of, and early noughties more so, but.
Yeah, well, 1999, then Silent Hill 2 was 2000. Was it 2000?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Must have been. But, like, and the thing is as well, Silent Hill 2, 2001, it still looks incredible, in my opinion. Like, especially the cutscenes. The cutscenes are insane.
That's props to the artist, like the monster artist. What's his name? Ito?
Yes.
I follow him on Twitter, and he's fucking amazing. Because the stuff that he talks about how he made things in the game. Because like back in those days, like lighting and textures. Well, textures existed, but lighting and like whatever it's called, like particle effects and stuff that most games have now, did not exist. So if you wanted things to be like dim lighting, you had to make the textures of the room dark.
Oh, okay.
That's how he emulated like the dark environments, is making like the textures in the wall and emulating lighting in them. Like, that is insane. And the fact that it brings that atmosphere in it just by making like a texture, drawn texture.
Yeah,
like
you.
And it still holds up. Like, it still looks like it's done with lighting that most games have these days, even though like the like quality of the characters are all polygon and whatever. But like, and the cutscenes as well.
I think you know when we're talking about video games do it better than a lot of movies. I believe it's because, and I hark back to my friend. I'll tell you in a second, but I think it's because we're the people in control of it. So we're driving the car instead of being on a roller coaster where
you're control of the pacing and your control of when things happen and when they don't.
Yes, because I hark back to my friend Will. I don't think he listens to my stuff. I know my other friends do, but Will is I love him. I want him to do some kind of streaming because he's just such a wimp with everything. So we're playing PT.
Oh my god, PT!
Scariest game I've ever played, by the way. Scary, and
I never got to play it, and I'm so sad.
My friend downloaded it on his PlayStation. I was like, I'm gonna come around your house, mate. Why? I just want to hang out, and really just want to play PT. But we got Will to play it, and he held a controller, and he didn't want to press forward because he was so scared. Like,
oh my god!
And I just sat behind him, like covering my mouth, going, "Oh, it's so funny!" And just to have that kind of like that influence over someone, because I said this to Em when we were going to play. We played Visage the first time, watching and playing completely different feelings because. Just the idea that I am like you just said, you're the one controlling the pace, and you're the one who's looking around, and just watching you detach from it slightly. Because
like I've watched, Outlast.
Yeah.
I watched a bunch of playthroughs of that, and I was just like, it's good, but it's not that scary. And then I played it, and it's like, oh fuck no, this is a lot more scary when you're playing it, and when there's things chasing after you, and you have to hide, and the panic. Because my stepdad got it, and he was like, he likes to act like he's a hard ass, and he was like, yeah, no, I'm fine. And then he tried to play that, and he started playing it, and he was like, you can take over now if you want.
Oh no!
And I was just like, because you're scared. He's like, no.
My dad was a secret gamer, so like there's one bit, yeah, seriously, he was, because my dad's kind of like not stern. He's not like that at all, but he's kind of just chill, and we're the gamers. We were playing the PlayStation 2 and stuff. And once, I think it was a day when he was off work. So he works 12-hour days, like every single day. He's a beast.
Geez.
I know, monster. Now he works like, I think he's like on a normal time schedule now, and he hates it because he's like, I should be working more. I'm like, Dad, you're over 60. Chill the fuck out, please. Yeah, and anyway, so I come back from school. And I go into my home. I believe this is how it went. I could be just adding stuff up. But like, I went up to my room because I was like, I'm going to play some games, just chill out, whatever I'm playing. And my console wasn't there. And I thought, what the fuck's going on? I was like, have I been grounded? Have I been taken away? So I walk out in the garden trying to find my dad. I'm like, Dad. And I hear a noise. And I'm like, what's going on here? And I go into his shed, his garden shed. And he set up the PlayStation, a TV. He's got a car steering wheel as well. Nice. I'm like, Dad, I've never seen you play games before. And he looked like, it was almost like I walked in him watching porn. like, it's like,
you shouldn't know that I'm a nerd as well.
Yeah, it's like, oh no. But yeah,
great.
So it's just one of those like things in my head where I just think, oh yeah, you're a little gamer. Going back to Resident Evil 1, like similar to your stepdad. I watched my older brother play Resident Evil 1, the original, and I still have, I think I've said this as well on podcasts, but to be fair, I'm going to be doing so many podcasts, I'm sure I'm going to say like the same shit over and over again. But there's a bit when you first enter the mansion and you want to check out the entrance again, and you open it, and there's the dogs, and I, no joke, it ruined my mind for a bit because on that same night I went round home. And I made sure every door was locked. I made sure every window was closed. If there was a window open, I'd panic and be like, Mum, Dad, get it closed. It's like, why? It's dogs.
I've had that. Actually, the one film that has actually fucked me up. And it was only the first time I watched it. Ever since then, not. But the first time I watched Paranormal Activity, the first one, that messed me up. Because there was something just about that. Where at the end of it said like based on a real story or some shit, which of course it is. But when I was younger and I saw that, I was like, no, like there's some element of this that's true. What? And of course I was like, of course it's not. Then immediately it was like, okay, everyone needs to go to bed. So I was in my room, like curled under the covers, like I'm not gonna sleep tonight. And then the worst timing, it sounded like metal scratching on metal, like really loud outside my room, like outside my window. I later found out it was a screech owl.
Oh.
But that noise, I did not think of an owl. I thought it was like, it sounded like Pyramid Head scraping his knife on the ground. Like that. It was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I fully went under the covers and I was shaking and being like, like that freaked me out. And then my sister came barreling down the stairs and came into my room like, did you hear that as well? You okay?
Oh.
We ended up like staying in my room the entire night, like completely freaked out.
That's so
like,
sweet.
I haven't had that with something like a film since then, but games, yes. When I watched, because that's something about PT though as well. Like,
yes.
to that is just watching people play it messed me up because my corridor from going out of my room, there's like a narrow corridor that then twists to the end to go to the kitchen and then the bathroom, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it reminded me so much of the corridor in PT. It's just like, okay, I don't even want to walk down this corridor because I don't want some creepy tall lady behind me to be like, I'm gonna break your neck now.
Twitching in the distance.
Yeah,
like,
God.
I remember where I played it and then I watched Game Grumps play it, and watching them play it freaked me the fuck out because I had like a secondary reaction. So I was like, it was almost like post-traumatic stress disorder. Like seriously, because I'd be watching them play it. And I'm getting the same feelings like what I had earlier when I played it myself.
Yeah,
I'm
just like, oh no, I remember feeling really weird about that. And, oh God, I was scared of that.
And again, it's a reason why I really like it as a horror game because, as we were talking about earlier, there's little bits what change. Like she can appear on the window.
It's random sometimes.
And it's like fuck, and every time I hear like a baby monitor crying now in a game, it makes me think back to that. Oh dude, I play horror games on Saturdays, like indie horror games and stuff. I got really pissed off last week because I played a horror game, really enjoyed it, but they literally ripped the soundtrack from PT.
I think I know what you mean. Because I think Ethan played it. I watched his like 4 scary game things yesterday, and there was one game that he played. What was it? What it was. It's probably the same one because it's on itch.io. And it stole the creepy
the build up.
The distorted.
Yes.
Like it's almost like the static in Silent Hill.
Yes.
It sounded like that, and
did Ethan get pissed off too?
He wouldn't have noticed. Like he's not that big into Silent Hill. Also, he's a dumbass. So
yes, it's fair. Bless him.
Sorry.
You just beg for forgiveness on a podcast.
Yeah, I know.
That's hilarious.
I always, I'm mean to my friends, but I'm not. I don't mean it.
You're supposed to be. It's how you're supposed to be.
But I don't mean it.
No, I publicly went, what the fuck's this? And I remember on the stream I actually found the music from PT and just went, hang on, let's listen. Yeah, it's completely stolen, and it ruined the game.
It's like that Korn song that I showed you. Like they completely ripped the save station thing, the save room theme from Resident Evil 4. It's like, what? I can't do that. I can't just fucking steal someone else's work and put it in this shit. Like, no.
Yeah, not with our babies. It's like it's our child's like art on the side. Like, no, you can't copy that. That's my son. My son did that. Don't do it. But like, I feel like I think that's the reason why I got pissed off because that game's so fucking fantastic that for me it's like, okay, I get what you're trying to do, but if someone is playing a horror game, they've more than likely seen or played themselves PT because how could you not? If you're into horror games, PT's like.
Plus also PT is. It's one of those things that's just so revolutionary. Like, it started off the trend of the first-person horror walking corridor simulation.
The infinite hallway.
Yeah, the infinite hallway things. And, like, it being first-person as well. Like, that's why Resident Evil
7
was a thing. Like, that was heavily inspired by PT.
Yes.
Heavily.
Yes.
Like, so many games since then. And there's something, like, the Resident Evil series and Silent Hill, if you took like anything from those and tried to claim it as your own, people would just be like, no, that's clearly from this, because like
Mhm.
it's so vivid, it's so its own thing that it's like you can only associate it with that.
Yeah.
It's like when I heard that Corn song, I had to like pause it because I was like, no, like instantly listening to that, even though it was covered over by a bunch of other sounds, it just instantly like snapped. It was like a muscle memory thing. It was like,
Yeah.
it's that. Like,
Yeah,
no.
I get you.
God.
Again, because it's so intrinsic in our minds, like Resident Evil, for God's sake, all
Yeah.
their music, all that music's going to be on our heads because we play it so often. It's our favorite.
Especially the save room theme. That's like the most obvious one that
Yeah,
people are
that's
going to
true.
recognize.
I remember you. I think you posted on Twitter, and I was like,
Yeah, I was like, I have to post this.
Yeah.
And like I posted it in a Discord server I'm in, and I was trying to be like, hey, like, do you hear this as well? And some people were like, no, I didn't hear it. And then one person was like, wait, it is!
That was
and even
me.
like edited the audio and was like, wait, no, I think I was talking to McCory.
Yeah.
And McCory actually like took the audio from the song and like changed like the pitch up, down, because they changed the pitch up, which of course they would have. And it sounded the exact same. It was like, okay, like there's no putting it past that. Like that is clearly taken from that.
I don't mind them taking inspiration as long as they have claimed it. Like they say,
Yeah.
we've taken inspiration from or you might hear things what you've heard before, but as long as they got permission to do it.
Yeah,
it's
because like for anyone knows, they probably don't. But like in music, it's slightly different because there's like remixes, there's sampling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it could be a sample. We don't know if it is or not, or if they just completely ripped it. But like doing that, taking another game's soundtrack and audio and putting it in your own game like that,
to create an effect as well, like a desired effect. And it's like, for me, it's like lazy. I get it because you're only an indie developer, and obviously you've only got a certain amount of stuff to work with. But goddamn, dude, just take a bit more time. Like,
and especially taking it from a game that can't even defend itself because it doesn't exist anymore.
That's
like,
so true.
It's not like people are going to go after them for taking it. Like if Konami still had claim over it and didn't delete it from existence, then yeah, they would get in fucking shit for using that in their game.
It's you know what though, PT disappearing basically is so on the fucking nose. Really, like it's so perfect for what it was supposed to be. As in, like, obviously Silent Hill, and people, if you follow any kind of story with Silent Hill, people think they disappear, they die, and all these kind of like weird ideas about those movies and games and stuff. And for PT,
although it's unintentionally that, because it wasn't intended to disappear from existence, and it wasn't intended to never become a game ever.
It's so sad.
Still sad about fucking Silent Hills. Although Silent Hills spawned Death Stranding, so.
What do you think? You're the only. I don't know if yours.
I'm hyped about it. I don't have a PlayStation though, so I can't even play it until I get one. So that sucks. But I think my sister's gonna get it, so I'm probably just gonna go around hers and be like, "We're playing it together, please."
Just say you're gonna cook for her.
I mean, yeah, no, I'll cook. Like she'd happily do that. She has takeaways all the time. It's like, yeah, I'll cook for you.
Nice.
Although
nice.
The best.
Have you watched the I think it's like 49-minute video of the game?
Yes.
It's all in. It's from Tokyo Game Show, whatever it's called.
Yeah. I watched the snippets. I don't know if I've seen the full thing. Oh, fuck. I've been busy. I've been sidetracked, but I think I haven't seen the most recent one, whichever one that was. But I saw the one where they were showing the gameplay and they were showing the Del Toro one.
Yeah.
Where you see the baby in the pod and what the baby actually does.
Yes.
I haven't seen the one where it's shown the save room or like a safe room thing. Haven't seen that. I've seen people posting about it, but I haven't.
I'm trying to think which one you're on about, because
I think it is the one they showed at the Tokyo Game Show thing. Is
the Lady in Red. There's the Lady in Red.
I haven't seen any of those then.
Very interesting, and the very first. No, which one? It wasn't Mama, was it? It was. It was. Was it Dead Man? The one where he every 16 minutes 20
That
or
is
20
Eggman.
or is it 60 minutes or 20 something minutes, 21 minutes maybe, but like in that amount of time then he dies. And then when I was invested anyway because of Kojima, but like when I watched that and just the idea of that concept of a character, I was so fully invested in it because I'm like, I've never heard of any kind of idea about that where someone dies over and over again, and they actually want death to happen so then they can search for a family. And they have, and in the scenery, it's like there's video games, there's short movies, and everything surrounding them like shows off their personality and what they're all about in just a scene. And like just that kind of storytelling is ridiculous. I don't know what's going to be like.
Kojima is insane. He's amazing. Have you played the Metal Gear games?
I have not. I need to.
That's another one that I played with my sister. It was the first Metal Gear. She played it, but I watched her play it, and like I would be sitting there and be like helping her with the puzzles and things, and helping her with like how to do things. Kind of, I guess, like a support player. I don't know. But that is amazing. Like that again was it revolutionized the like the sneaking element of like
stealth
action.
mechanics.
Stealth, yeah, there you go. Stealth games. Like first ever stealth game, and so many games have been inspired from it since. Like so many.
It's just one of those games where I've always wanted to get into it, but because I've never got into it, and it's been such a long time. I feel like it's such a beast to start from.
It's hard to dedicate time to it. Which is why I there's so many things that I want to get into, but I still haven't. But it's like I've only watched and played the first Metal Gear. I haven't done any of the others.
Yeah.
I do want to though at some point.
I dabbled with Phantom Pain, as in the fifth one, literally just because it was my brother had it, and I share games with him on Steam. So I was like, let me just check it out, and it looks incredible and all that. But there's like characters that popped up, and it's like got like an introduction to certain. I think one's called Psycho Mantis. I can't remember.
Yeah. Oh, Psycho Mantis is in the first one. Yeah.
It's the thing though. Like I remember thinking, oh, that's a cool person, and then my head went, that's a reference. So for me, I thought that I feel like I have to play certain games just to get the references so I can enjoy the game more.
That's something I never, ever have played a series or watched like a TV show. Like, I haven't jumped into the middle of it. I have to start from the beginning. Because I'm one of those people who has to get the references throughout. Otherwise, I feel like I'm lost. And I'm like, I don't want to feel like that. I want to watch the entire thing and binge it. Like,
Dude, I'm the exact same thing with anime. Like,
yeah, that's why I haven't gone into like any anime recently, because I just don't have the time. I don't want to just like jump into it and like not understand who these characters are, not understand backstories, not understand like anything. Oh,
dude,
God.
I've watched 900 episodes of One Piece.
Oh my God, that's so much.
It's a lot, and a lot of it is like there's a lot of filler. And the first time I watched it, I watched them all. The second time I watched it was with Emily.
Skip the filler, but even sometimes it's like, even though the filler is not likely to reference anything, it's like I watched Bleach, and some of that filler is I could have.
There's a lot.
Any of it. There's also tons of it, but I think that was the only series where partway through I was like, you know what, fuck it, I don't care about these filler characters. I'm gonna skip these because I do not give a shit. Like, I will get back to the main story where these characters I actually care about and I actually want to get into. But
I actually go on a website, and I think it's like my anime list, and it basically lists off these are the ones where you want to watch, these are the ones where you don't want to watch. And one anime what I never got a chance to get into until really recently is Evangelion, as in Neon Genesis, because I heard amazing things about it. And one thing I loved was people jumped on the bandwagon because it was available, and everyone wanted to join in the hype and just watch it. But everyone was like, I'm really looking forward to this anime, and like really like the music and and all that kind of stuff.
Oh my God, yeah.
People get really hyped. You watch it and you're depressed. It is ridiculously
it's
depressing.
really fucking sad.
But it's great.
I haven't watched it, but I do want to, because it seems like something I could get into.
Definitely. definitely up your alley because
Yeah.
it's psychological as well. So I don't want to like
I already know a lot of it
the
because
concept of it.
my sister was into it, and also it's one of those things that it's just everywhere that it's kind of hard not to know.
Because it's available on Netflix. I was like, okay, perfect. Because usually
Yeah.
I legally somehow, I'm going to say it's legally somehow, but I go on a website and through that.
Yeah, really.
It's the only way I've been able to watch One Piece. One Piece isn't available on Crunchyroll in the UK, so fuck you, Crunchyroll. But like,
Yeah.
but with Evangelion, it came out on Netflix, and I wanted to watch it on how I used to, but I couldn't be asked. Came on Netflix, I was like, okay, I haven't got a reason not to watch it now, so let's watch it. And yeah, I remember just watching it, and just I only got to the end of the series, and the only thing I could think of is, what? That's it. I was just like, what the fuck? Oh shit. Oh, okay. And then I had to watch like the movies, but I skipped right to the end where it was I basically filled in the gaps, and right at the end of the very last bit, I was still confused. So obviously, I think this is the only time I go into stuff, because if I'm confused and I'm not too sure, I haven't worked it out myself, I'll have to research it. So I'll wiki it, I'll go into manga and just check out all that kind of stuff and to see if it works. I don't like the idea that something's incomplete in my head. At least it might have been complete, and that might be the intention behind the creators, but if my head hasn't completed the story, I'm like, I need to know.
I've had that with. Try watching a David Lynch film because that fucks you up. And like I watched Lost Highway. It's very good.
Lost Highway.
And the soundtrack is amazing as well. But I like it's a long film. And I watched it with the guy that I went and saw Gajira with, because he's into like a lot of weird shit. He really likes David Lynch, and we watched it. And for 3 hours after we watched it, we were debating it nonstop and being like, "What the hell did this mean? And what did this mean? And what did like?" We had to try and pick it apart and understand what the hell happened. And I've had that with Donnie Darko. If you've watched that,
Donnie Darko is such a weird one.
First time I watched that, me and my mum were like analyzing it immediately and like trying to like pick apart what happened. I had that with Suspiria. Please watch Suspiria. It is very good. And the soundtrack is by Tom York, who is a lead singer of Radiohead, and he's very good.
How do you spell it?
Suspiria?
Yeah. That's such a weird one.
Suspiria.
Okay, it's S-U-S.
Yeah, so it's a remake, a reimagining, technically, of 1970 version.
Okay.
The original isn't great. Artistically, it is. Like, the colors and the like cinematography is really good, but the story is really shit. So definitely watch the.
I'll make sure that's in my mind, and I'll write it down as well.
It's the only film where only film in like recent days where I saw it in the cinema, and I saw it in like a really kind of like not fancy, but it was it wasn't like one of those big ones because it was only shown in some places because it was such a niche film for some reason. But it was the only film where I was like sinking back. There's like one part of the film where I was like sinking back in my seat, like clutching the armrest and being like, what the fuck is happening?
Oh, that's so cool.
Because oh my god, I don't want to spoil it, but there's one scene, like that one scene, you'll know when it comes to it. It made my skin crawl.
I have a list on my phone. What is just titled "Movies to Watch," because like people on this podcast will mention movies, and it's like, okay, I need to get a list going on right now, just because I'll forget. I'll just forget. I'll never watch it.
I can also give you a list of good films to watch because
I'm totally happy with
watch some shit.
That's fine, man.
That's what I like about my family being just into weird stuff. Because I've seen some things where we'll watch it and it's really bad. And it's like, okay, we'll never watch that again. But there's some stuff that is really surprising, and you won't kind of like not a lot of people knew about it, or they haven't spoken about it, or it's like really kind of like a cult film or something where only some people are like super into it. It's like have you watched The Hunger?
I don't think so.
David Bowie in it. It's an 80s film. It's my mum's favorite film. It's about vampires. It's very good.
Oh.
But it's like it feels slightly dated because it is very 80s, but it's also like I've never seen a film like that, and I also know that it's slightly later films down the road, like in more modern films, have been influenced by it as well.
David Bowie's so fucking cool. God damn, he's awesome. What a good guy.
Yeah.
Man, have you watched Jacob's Ladder? Considering we're talking about Silent Hill.
Oh, I've always meant to, but I haven't.
I have watched it.
I do need to.
Because Silent Hill references Jacob's Ladder a shit ton.
Yeah, because I've seen Ito posting about it on Twitter, and I've been meaning to watch it because I can't not watch something that's been, it's part of the influence of one of my favorite series of all time. So
I just typed in Jacob's Ladder on Google, and it just came up with a bunch of fucking ladders.
Like, is Jacob's Ladder?
Like, you got two. There's two Jacob's Ladder posters, and the rest of there's Jacob's Ladder, gym source, ladder fitness. There's one what's wooden Jacob's Ladder. It's like, fucking hell. Maybe I spelled it wrong. No, I didn't spell it wrong.
It's just one of those things that not a lot of people, it's not popular. It's not mainstream.
I honestly only just watched it like this year, and I watched it while I think Emily was asleep, and I was just like, you know what, I wanna check it out, and I watched it and I thought, oh my god, this is nuts, because I can't really, I don't want to spoil anything about it. It's you 100% see all the inspirations in Silent Hill, and you sat there and you know how it was like something flashes and you go, what the fuck was that? But you never see it again, ever. That happens a lot. And then it's like a burn in your mind, that subliminal messaging
kind of stuff like that. Oh,
I do too. I do too, dude. Yeah. So there's your go and watch.
I need to find a way to watch that. I'm sure my family would love to watch that as well, because they love all the Silent Hill games too.
I bet they've at least would have watched it, maybe. Or is it a case of if they've watched it, you've watched it?
They have. Usually, if they've watched something and we have it on like DVD or something, then I've definitely watched it, especially if it's a horror film.
That's fair. So. I don't know. I had a you know what's funny? I had a feeling that this entire podcast will just be us two geeking out about games and horror.
I'm surprised we haven't talked about music as much as that. We have mentioned it briefly.
A little bit, but I think our passion was really into the.
It's definitely the games and some film stuff too. So
some, but it's one of those where like, I don't know. It's this is one thing I love about games. It brings people together. Like,
oh yeah,
because people talk about their experiences and. One thing I love about certain games is, I think, hopping back to PT, everyone's, when you load it in, everyone has a certain seed of the game. So
everyone has a different take on it. Yeah.
So for people to work out how to get the Silent Hills trailer ending to finish the game, it wasn't you have to do this. It was it might be this. It might be this. It might be a mixture of those. And you're like, fuck. And I think I spent like 2 hours once trying to figure it out. And I just could not do it. So then I think that's when I watched Game Grumps. I'm at Game Grumps. No, who the hell got the ending? It might have even been PewDiePie or so.
Felix got it. Because I watched multiple people play it. I watched Sean play it, Felix play it. I think Game Grumps play it, and
Game Grumps definitely play it.
Achievement Hunter played it, which was hilarious because do you know Achievement Hunter?
I know Achievement Hunter. I've not watched them really.
But Jeff, who's one of the guys, he was controlling the character, and he kept doing things backwards. He's like, okay, I'm not going to look at anything. I'm going to reverse down this hallway.
Yeah.
It was fucking hilarious. Oh my god! Like and the fact that I wanted to watch every single one of those from multiple people, I didn't even get bored because each of them had a different take on how it happened, and the horrors were different, and the scares were different, and it's so good.
Damn it!
The replayability of that is insane.
Is it one of the greatest horror games ever made?
Yeah, and it doesn't even exist anymore.
It doesn't exist.
No!
It's such the icing on the cake, though.
I couldn't even play. God. I know someone though that hasn't updated their PS4 and it isn't connected to the internet, and they still have it somehow, and they can still play it. And I want to just like, but they live in America, but I want to just like break into their house and steal their PlayStation.
Send it over, people. Send it over.
Give it to me. I will pay you hundreds.
Well, people
did that, didn't they?
Yeah.
They like
they
were like, as long as you don't connect this to the internet and allow it to update, you'll be able to play this on this console only. And it's like, okay.
People started selling on eBay, buddy.
Yeah.
Their consoles, and they'll sell it for thousands. And it's like,
people will play it. People will do it because it's literally
Angry Birds did that.
Oh God.
I know it's horrible, but I'm just saying, like, Angry Birds did the exact same thing where they took the game off of the App Store, and for people who had,
it wasn't Angry Birds. It was Flappy Bird.
Oh yes,
yeah. Because the guy was like, "I hate this. I hate that it's become a massive thing. So I'm getting rid of it."
As he sits there in his throne, surrounded by cash, he's like, "I hate this. This is terrible."
Well, sometimes fame can destroy you. So
a lot of times, but it was the same thing though. Like people who didn't delete the game, they would sell their games off, and people are buying them for thousands. And it's like, why would you do that?
Because it's become a collectible. Because it's become like a one out of however many that are left. Like,
it's so silly. Like I could not in my head.
PT is like the only thing.
I agree with that.
I would be like, okay, if it's not like the most massively expensive thing in the world, I would buy a PlayStation that had it on.
What would be your limit? I want to know your limit.
Oh God.
500.
Not in this current moment. 500. Yeah, I would do 500.
700.
I think my limit is probably like not 1,000, but maybe close.
I'm leading up to me trying to sell a PS4 I have here. Not really. Just the idea, like, I have a PS4 with it on.
Oh my God.
Oh dear. Yeah. All right. We need to move on to some questions, if that's okay, dude.
Yeah.
Cool. We have to stop just geeking out as much and have some kind of structure to the.
I mean, it's good geeking out structure. So
I do not mind. It's my favorite thing to do anyway. I love geeking out, so it's fine. It's all good. Okay. So Nightmare Wolf. Hang on. Let me just bring it up properly so that people who are watching can see it as well.
Nice.
Okay. So this is from Nightmare Wolf, and the question is, which part of the drawing process do you enjoy the most?
Line art. Absolutely line art. Like I love making things look clean and crisp and kind of pristine looking. So yeah, line art all the way.
They also say, also compliment time. Love your work so much. I quote unquote draw inspiration from your art, mainly because our styles are a little similar to begin with, and it has helped me a lot.
Well, thank you. I also appreciate you, Nightmare Wolf. You've got some great art.
Yeah, hell yeah. It's awesome. I know you.
I know. I see.
Janky Shenanigans, or Sir Janks. Actually, now his name is Sir Janks the Green Knight. I wonder why. But you've done a commission for him, actually. Joining and drinking coffee. Question for both. Oh, okay. Do you have a band / album / playlist you like to listen to when you're working on projects or winding down?
Oh, mine varies a lot. Like, it depends on the mood. It depends on who I'm drawing. It depends on just what kind of thing I feel like listening to. It's like, for certain things, if I get really into it, like shows or characters, I will make a playlist for them and will listen to that playlist whilst I draw them. Or I have like random general playlists if I'm feeling in a metal mood. I'm like, I want to listen to metal whilst I draw. Like I can listen to anything. It just depends on how I'm feeling that day. In all honesty.
I'm like similar, but sometimes I'll listen to like game remixes. I quite like that. Ever since watching these Games Done Quick, it's a charity and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like remixes on that. If I'm just want to chill out, I'd actually quite like chill hop. I really like chill hop, and if I'm just trying to unwind, I like that. And
I have a chill playlist too. Yeah. It's like I've been actually recently. Do you know Djo? DJO?
DJO.
He the guy who it's a I don't know why he used that name, but it's Joe Keery from Stranger Things, who played Steve Harrington. He makes music, and he released an album recently, and that has been like my go-to album to listen to.
That's cool.
Like, because he's got mostly chill stuff, and then some occasional like mad songs, which are great. But
have you?
That album has been great to listen to.
You know, Hawkeye. He's got an album.
Oh, did he?
He's very good.
Oh,
he's just released it. I forgot his name, but yeah, his music's pretty damn good, dude. It's like rocky, if you would, but yeah, check it out. It's quite weird to watch Hawkeye being just chilling, just rocking out and stuff like that. So yeah, mine, like I said, mine is just chill hop, metal. If I want to go for a run.
Yes, metal is great for like working out and running.
But then really I like podcasts too. If I'm running, sometimes I like listening to podcasts because there's like a certain pace of certain people's voices. Same kind of thing if I want to fall asleep as well. I'll put on a YouTube playlist like Game Grumps or.
Oh, see, I can't listen to anything when I sleep. It has to be silence. Yeah,
Oh,
no. I'm a light sleeper when I'm getting to sleep. Once I'm asleep, I'm out.
Wow.
I'm gone to the world.
Damn.
But yeah, no, I can't listen to it. Sometimes, if because I live in like a very quiet area, it's quite quiet anyway. But if I'm like staying around someone else's place and they live in a city and it's like lots of background noise outside or like cars and things, listen to music is good for that. Like,
I'm I think. I don't know why. Voices. I don't know. It's like it's kind of ASMR for me. Like it just chills me out, and I don't know. It's weird. Meg and Mighty, what character / person do you enjoy drawing the most? Do you have a favorite piece of art you've ever drawn?
Character-wise, it depends on what I'm into. At the moment, it's been Billy Hargrove from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
He's been fun to draw, even though his hair is a fucking pain in the ass to draw.
Of course it is.
He's been really fun to draw. I tend to have like a favorite character that I'm more kind of drawn to. So Borderlands is either Handsome Jack or Reese. And like in other series and stuff, I tend to have a favorite. But yeah, it depends on what I'm into at the moment. But at the moment, it's Billy Hargrove because he's great.
He's a good character.
And what was the other?
I think it was the same thing. Yeah. Oh, do you have a favorite piece of art you've drawn?
Okay, favorite art that I've drawn. Actually, the one that I sent, the Handsome Jack one with him smoking.
Yeah.
That is one of the favorites that I've drawn recently. I'd probably say this, like one of my most favorite things that I'm, proud of.
Your cranky one, where it's the Borderlands.
Yeah. I really the ones that I sent you, basically all of the 4 ones that I sent Dave to use for the promotion thing for this are 4 of my favorite things that I've drawn recently.
They're really cool to see.
Like the Good Omens one, the apart from the Leon Kennedy one, that's not so much, but Handsome Jack, the Good Omens one, and I actually did like the Billy and Steve one that I did recently.
Billy and Steve one.
Yeah. I'll find a link to it.
Is it on your Instagram?
Yes, it is. Let me scroll to the top. It's the one with here it is.
I got it.
Background.
Yeah, I got it.
Like, I really liked that one. But the Handsome Jack one with the yellow background and the smoking is definitely my favorite. It's
dope.
Like, yeah.
It's really good, dude. It's really cool. So Torisaw says, or Torisaw Sketch, or Torisaw Ski, for Joe, would you ever post a cover of, here we go, of you singing? What are some songs you would consider if you did so? I love coming to your streams and listening to you sing along to the music.
Aww. See, like, I've had that where I'll just sing along randomly in my streams and I won't be even thinking about it, and people are like, oh, that's so good, you should post a cover, you should do something. I actually have a playlist, I'm going to bring up my Spotify, where I've like added some songs that I would like to cover.
That's cool.
And ones that would kind of suit my singing style.
Sure.
All right, here we go. Spotify will load. That would be good.
Spotify can like take forever to load sometimes.
Yeah, it's especially with my PC not being the best. It is like, I don't like this.
Sometimes, like when I load Spotify, it comes up like I have the exit, maximize, and minimize, but that's it. I have like a bar and I can't find anything else, or sometimes it just doesn't let me search. It's like
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get why that happens. Just fucked, I guess. I don't know.
It's taking age. Okay, I'm gonna try and think off the top of my head whilst I'm waiting for this to load.
Yeah.
There's a singer called Alexandra Savior. Her stuff like is perfect for my singing style. I really like that. As well as some of the Last Shadow Puppets, if you know them.
I don't know. I don't know
One
about
is
that one.
because there's two main singers. One of the main singers is the lead singer from Arctic Monkeys.
Oh, okay.
Alex Turner, and then
Yes.
Alex Turner and Miles Kane. Ah, here we go. Playlist is left. So there's a couple of Dodie songs that I'd like to do. There's some Alexandra Savior. There's someone called Marika Hackman. Her stuff is really good. There's some Radiohead, obviously.
Standard.
Oh, Sufjan Stevens. Yeah. There's some of his stuff that's
Who?
Sufjan Stevens. His stuff is good. You probably recognize some. He's done some soundtrack stuff.
Okay.
Then Daughter, if I'm feeling especially depressing.
Oh God.
Joji. Yeah, we go. Some
Joji's
Joji.
cool.
That's quite. Oh, Jack Stauber, Rex Orange County. I haven't updated. Oh, there's one song by London Grammar that I'd like to do.
Yeah, I've listened. Most of those people I've not actually listened to. It's kind of cool to hear them actually.
Yeah, I have a kind of. I can do high notes. I can't do low very well. There's some songs that I can, like "Death of a Bachelor" by Panic at the Disco. I've tried to do that one. I can almost do the high notes actually, but it's the low notes that I find difficult.
Yeah.
Because it's just so like, and it's like I can't. It's just too low. But there's some that I'd like to try.
Cool.
I don't know what the first one I'd like to try and actually do a cover of. Probably nothing too hard to do. Like, maybe a Dodie song. That seems quite doable. Or Joji.
Just plan your entire stream right now. It's like, right, this is what we're going to do.
I'm going to, I think I feel like I need a better microphone if I want to do singing covers. Because like, as much as this one is good,
it's not good for singing.
It's going to blow out. Yeah, it's not good.
Not good for singing, dude. Yeah.
So, at some point, I will make a cover and I will film it. The only reason I really haven't is because I can't play any instruments properly. So I need to try and like wrangle someone that I know who can play instruments and would be happy to play something in the background whilst I sing. So
that's so cute.
At some point, I will try and plan something.
That'd be adorable to watch, though. Yeah. It will. Marissa actually just says pretty much the exact same thing as well. I wonder if a specific piece of art that you're proud of. You've already answered that as well, which is the Handsome Jack one. So that is, and you've actually said why as well. Baby Dragon Draws just says, are you a self-taught artist? Or did you go to school or anything like that for it?
I'm technically, I'm a self-taught artist because most of the stuff that I learned, even though I did art at sixth form, I also did a degree for art. It wasn't a full degree, it was a partial degree for fine art. But I feel like I did learn some things, but majority of the stuff that I learned, and also digital art, I completely self-taught digital art. No one else I knew did digital art. I just figured it out by messing around with programs and looking some tutorials online. So yeah, mostly self-taught.
That's cool, dude. It's always interesting. Dr. Voyager says, and I don't know if like you're gonna. I'm just gonna say it, and you have to answer it because I don't know how to like articulate it myself. Okay. But he says, would you like to go into a more specialized part of the whole art process, like becoming a background artist? Or go into concept art for a game?
I don't think so because I like too many things. I feel like I can't specialize. Like I'm finding it hard to juggle trying to do like game streams and then trying to keep up art commissions. Like I like doing more than one thing. And I actually I briefly worked on a video game which was Subscribe and Punch. Back in 2017.
I've heard of that game.
Well, before that. Yeah, it was great. And the demo was out and it then got cancelled. Because we couldn't work on it because all of us were, either at school or had jobs or, But I, as much as I really loved working with that team, and they're all wonderful people, I much more enjoy making things myself, and like the entire product was something that I made.
Yeah, I get that.
And like maybe the occasional collab and working with other people, because I do love working with other people and just like bouncing ideas back and forth. And the thing, like when I made that music video that I was talking about earlier, there were some things where I had an idea and then someone else had a different idea, and then we like played with the two, and then somehow like out of the blue made something different together, and that was cool. But no, I don't think I could do like a specialized thing for like a company, like a background artist or something like that. I don't think, and also I'm not great at backgrounds, so I definitely would not do that.
You just like the creative freedom a bit more.
Yeah, I definitely do like the freedom to just do what I want to do.
Totally understand.
And then like commissions are a nice break in between when I don't have to think about, and I don't have to like come up with the entire thing. I've got some kind of basis to be like, okay, this character, possibly like this sort of like expression or position or something. And then I can just work from there. So sometimes having something to work from is good, but majority of the time I like having the freedom.
We have 2 more questions. So we have from, hang on a second, from Carolee Sears. What's the most difficult part about art for you? That could be like what, I'm guessing it's like what you find difficult to draw, but also let's say, because you're doing it obviously for a living, what's the difficult part about that too?
So the difficult part about drawing something in general is coming up with the initial idea, because sometimes coming up with an idea is hard. Whereas other times, like an image can just come into your head and you're like, okay, I want to draw this. And it may not end up exactly how you envisioned it, but usually it will be kind of similar. But sometimes just coming up with an idea is really hard. And I also find sketching and anatomy really hard. I need to work on that and I need to practice it. But yeah, just trying to get a human person to look like a human person is difficult sometimes.
That's fair.
And the difficulty about doing freelance art in general is the motivation sometimes. Like, sometimes it's hard to just be a freelance artist.
Sure.
Like, and have people just associate me with that. Because I like a lot of things. So when I then venture out, like I do game streams and I'll, I don't know, make some videos or edit some things or appear on a podcast. Like, I like doing all of those things. And when one of the others doesn't really get the sort of support and the attention as like my main thing does, it is a little bit disheartening. And it can be like, oh, do people not want this from me? Do people just want me to be this freelance artist or who draws fan art or who only draws fan art of these certain people or these certain characters? Or sometimes it can be hard because then you'll lose the motivation and then you end up in a rut and you're like, I don't want to draw and I'm not really motivated to draw this thing because it's making me feel bad, or I don't know. Like, it can be hard to kind of kick yourself in the ass a bit and just be like, I'm just going to draw something. It doesn't really matter what it is.
I get you.
And that it's okay if I take a break from art for a bit and just explore some other creative avenue. Like, it's hard to balance that sort of in between if you're interested in a lot more things than just one. So
I totally understand that, dude. Like, people will, because obviously they know you from certain things, they expect that that's going to be your thing and that's it, instead of so for example, like obviously people find you through Sean or Ethan and it's like, okay, well, they'll turn up to your streams and be like, okay, where's the Ethan art, where's the Sean art, and why playing Borderlands? This isn't a YouTube art thing. Like
that part of being not even just an artist, but an online sort of, I wouldn't say personality, but someone who has an online presence, there we go, is that as soon as you're associated with someone that is like more popular than you, or someone that has like a big fan base or people care about, you can very easily get lumped into it. And then people will, like, I've had people come up to my stream and will be like, say a Jacksepticeye reference. And I'm like, I'm not Jacksepticeye. Like, I'm not gonna say some weird tagline that he says, or I'm not gonna, or like people will be like, oh, tell me what Ethan's doing with his merch. And I'm like, I don't fucking know, ask him. Like, I don't know these things. Why are you asking me?
They think because you're friends, you know everything about their background stuff.
like someone recently, I went off about it. Yeah, well, not recently. It was like last month,
Sure.
beginning of this month.
Oh yeah, I
Like
remember.
they
Yeah,
kept DMing me on Instagram,
Uh-huh.
like multiple times during the day, and no matter how many times I deleted them and I ignored it, they just kept spamming me with things, being like, "When is this thing that Jack's doing? When is this thing? Oh, here's some photos of him and his girlfriend that you don't want to see." Like, as much as I love the guy and I love Gab and I love the stuff that he does, I don't want to be spammed with his shit. Like,
No.
I will venture and get his and look at his stuff in my own time. And also,
Uh-huh.
I don't know his schedule. I don't know what the fuck he's doing at PAX or whatever. Like, I'm not even there. I'm in England drawing or playing Borderlands. Like, what do you expect from me? It's so weird to think about. I'm just like, clearly, I'm not as into it as you are. And
Yeah.
also, I don't owe you any information about these people at all. Because they're my friends. And I'm not 100% in their lives.
Yeah.
And you should not be 100% in theirs.
You should be in your own life instead.
Yeah. It's nice to be into someone, but don't bombard their friends trying to get information about them. That is
dude,
so.
I see it all the time.
Yeah.
And like, maybe it's because my age, but like, I just feel like, oh, dude, I don't mind it. Like, if they're kids, like 13, 14, 15, 16, like, you can sort of fangirl, fanboy, and all that
It's
thing.
understandable. It's still bad, and people still
absolutely.
should be taught, even if they're young. They shouldn't be given, shouldn't be given excuses, I guess.
No, but
it's so easy to be like, okay, they're a kid. But there are some people who are like 27 or 30, and they're still bombarding me for information. I'm just like, grow up, please. Please. Oh, God.
But it's true, dude. Like, you see it, and it's kind of just like, all right, Joe is Joe. Joe's not Sean's secretary. Like,
I know.
chill the fuck out.
I have it for both Sean and Ethan. Ethan less so, but
when
the Mad Mike merch came out, there were some people that just kept bombarding me with stuff. It's like, the information's out there, and yes, I advertised it because it is like I made the art for it, and I made the merch. But there's some people who are just like, when are you going to make more merch? So I'm just like, I don't know. I'd love to make more merch for Ethan, but he hasn't asked me to, so I'm going to wait to see and ask him. Or don't ask him. I don't want you bombarding him, demanding him to hire me. Like, God. There's so many levels that it's like, it's so silly.
It can be really silly.
It also can, like, I try not to let it get to me, because most of the time it's just like, people do this to fucking everyone. I'm not on my own in this, and like, the weirdest thing is people do it to my friends about me. It's like Maddie has come up to me once, being like, "Oh yes, someone DM'd me, being like, oh my god, you're SpaceJellyBeans' friend. Can you like get her to be friends with me?" I'm like, Stop harassing my friends. Jesus.
I'm hopefully lucky, right? I've not experienced that myself, thankfully. But
it's just like the fact that people have done that about me is fucking wild. It's like, now I understand how, like, well, to a lesser degree, how like people like Sean and Ethan feel when people attack their friends and be like, you should tell us things because you're entitled to. And it's like, no, they're not.
Yeah, I get you. Totally. It's so weird to watch it, and I don't know, like, I don't like you being treated as the messenger. Like, that's my worst thing. It's like, you're a fucking human, dude. Like,
yeah, because like stuff like that can get to you. Because like I've had times where stuff like that has caught me on a bad day, and I'll just think, that's what people want from me. That's all what people want from me. They don't see me as me. They just want fan art of Jacksepticeye. They want me to draw this thing. They want me to just be this one thing. And if I try and be anything else, then they won't give a shit and they'll hate it. It's like, so it's like, oh, why do anything then? Why do art? Why do streaming? Why do any of the stuff that I do? Because it can really demoralize people. So
that's why I want you on here, dude.
The people who deal with that, like this, people like Gab. Like, as soon as you're a girlfriend of a YouTuber, you get fucking harassed. Like, that shouldn't happen.
No.
They're people. And also, Sean is a person. He's a complete dumbass. And he's just a normal human being who's as stupid and silly and normal as anyone else.
Exactly.
So, He
It's
should also
interesting,
be
isn't it?
like a human.
What's that?
He should also be treated like a human.
Well,
He's
we
a
hope
human
so, huh?
person.
You know,
Yeah.
that's the thing, like, and it's when they obviously we have to be held to certain like responsibilities and that kind of thing because of their position, but
Yeah.
they're human. They're going to fuck up. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to do some things, but it's human. Like, let them off, man. Just chill.
Yeah.
There's a question about egos, but
Got in
I
a
don't.
bit deep here, but
It's fine. It's all good. I don't know if do you want to go into egos at all, or like I don't know if that's your thing.
You can ask. I can choose to not answer. Or...
Like no.
Yeah.
So the question is, like this is from Dingo Hunter, and they say, what is your favorite ego from Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, or Crank Gameplays? Who's your favorite out of all of them?
Okay. I haven't really. I never was super into the egos. I drew some of them, and I like theorized when I was, back in 2017 or some shit.
Nice.
But I never was like super massively into it.
Mm-hmm.
But they're definitely cool, and the stuff that they do with those characters is really cool. So if I have to say, my favorites that I liked back when I was into it was on Sean's. It was JJ. And Marvin I liked as well. Even though more so just because Jane is super into
I know.
egos.
Yes, I
and
know.
we've had many a discussion about egos, and we've come up with like a thing for Marvin that was pretty cool, and we collabed on a piece for that. So I kind of like that. Like some of that stuff is pretty cool. Mark's, I don't watch his content, and I'm not into any of them anymore. So. Nope. And Ethan's, I feel a bit biased, but Mad Mike, just because he, because I did the merch for it, and Ethan liked my design for him so much, he's kind of become the unofficial official version of Mad Mike, even though there's tons of other versions. But I've seen the whole load of people kind of use the bit of a psychopath version of Mad Mike. It's like, okay, that's cool.
Yes, so it's like part of you as well.
Yeah.
That's nice. No, that's fine.
I like that, and I like the little kind of. I've had discussions with again Jane, because she's always up for talking about egos.
Yeah, she loves it,
and also just like coming up with like character design stuff. But I've talked to her about like backstory stuff of like Mad Mike and other characters, and like Blank as well. I quite liked the design I did for Blank, but he's not really an official character. But
it's
yeah,
cool though. Like you and Jane and all the other artists who and all the other artists I know, you all give life to those characters. Like, and obviously they create it themselves and they do it themselves and record certain things for it. But then it's like the artist's interpretation gives it more layers.
Yeah.
And that's what I love. Like, and that's why I started getting into little bits of the ego stuff with Sean's work. So it's like, not because I just want to get into it, but I loved what you guys are talking about and how you guys are describing how much you got into it. So it's like, all right, let's check it out. And then
the community can really kind of bring life to something that was
totally.
like, it's like I already know from Sean that a lot of the ideas he came up with, he'll just throw something out for a video and just spur of the moment. He won't really plan ahead sometimes.
Of course.
And then it's like, oh, there you go, this thing. And then people will bring like backstories, people will bring like super deep stuff into meaning of like small things, and like that stuff's cool. That's like bringing it's bringing something to life. And people do that also with like, I don't know, Borderlands. Like there's some characters who are side characters who it's like Timothy Lawrence, who's the doppelganger for Handsome Jack.
Yes.
You don't really know too much about him apart from that he was a college student who has debt, and he's like super nervous all the time, and he likes cats. But people have like brought that to life and turned him into this like big character. And I love stuff like that, where you just take something that wasn't necessarily a big massive thing to start out with. Well, that's making it sound like the egos aren't massive or anything, but but like to start out with, they weren't like a super planned out, written, scripted.
It's just dicking about.
Big story thing. It was like, it was just like, I want this creepy character, and he's got a neck slit, and he's like, woohoo! Like, it just happens, and then they build them. Like,
exactly.
It's
cool, dude.
World building. It's cool.
It sort of loops back to what we were talking about at the beginning, where you put your own swing on things, and that's what brings it all together in the end. And that is what brings the podcast to the end as well.
Yay!
That's cool, dude. All right. Is there anything else you want to say before we finish, or anything you want to say to the people listening, watching, and stuff like that?
Subscribe to Whiskey and the Jam Jar.
And follow Space Jelly Beans on twitch.tv/SpaceJellyBeans. Join the Bean Hype.
Bean Hype. Oh my god.
The Bean Hype. I don't know what it's going to be called. The Beans. I still don't know what my guy's called.
Yeah, mine have had like multiple names. So it was like Space Crew. There was like Join the Bean Pile, Jelly Bean Pile, or some shit. Like, or just Jelly Beans, or I don't fucking know. You guys are great, and you're sweet. And also, thank you, Dave, for having me on this podcast. It was great.
Always a pleasure, dude.
Cool stuff.
It almost went exactly how I thought it was going to go regarding what we're talking about. So it's been
had to talk about Silent Hill, had to talk about Resident Evil, had to talk about horror things in there, and like gaming, and you know. We'll
have to do it again, and we obviously need a stream together as well. We need to carry on with our Minecraft adventure. So we'll sort something out whenever you're ready.
We'll
get it sorted. All right, dudes. Thanks for watching. Make sure you leave a like, leave a comment. Make sure you follow Space Jellybean. I'm going to just call you Joe. Why am I saying Space Jellybean? Follow Joe with all the links down below, and we'll see you next week, I believe. I'm going to be releasing this a bit later on in the week because I'm trying to work out a schedule. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. See you all soon. Say bye, Joe.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.